This afternoon, more than 34 million people are on alert for dangerous severe storms, with tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail threatening the south. We're timing it all out when the most dangerous of the storms will strike right now on the Weather Channel. Good afternoon and welcome to our special extended coverage of severe storms in the south. I'm meteorologist Liana Brackett alongside meteorologist Chris Warren. Storms are rumbling this morning and this afternoon throughout the south from Georgia to Texas.
Mom! Wow! Wow!
And this is the sound of one of the threats from today's severe weather in the south. Hail pounding Irving, Texas. Now there are reports of quarter-sized to, get this, golf ball-sized hail across the Lone Star State. Here's a closer look at more hail coming down in Texas. Look at this. This is insane. This is in Grand Prairie. That's a lot of pretty large hail. Chris has a closer look at where those dangerous storms could also turn into a tornado threat right now. Chris.
And right now, breaking news, Liana, there is a tornado threat currently underway in parts of Louisiana and in Texas. A couple of tornado warnings to get to. First, a look at the tornado warning that we are tracking right now across portions of Texas. And this right here, just for some reference, here's Galveston. This is the tornado warning right here. Brazoria and Matagorda counties here impacted by this. And as you look at this, this is a radar indicated tornado warning. And as you look right here, you can see where that hook is, that wrap around associated with the mesocyclone, the overall spinning of the thunderstorm. And if we do have a tornado, likely going to find that somewhere in here, right with that hook, somewhere in there. So again, tornado warning here in this part of Texas. Here's Houston, here's Galveston, so we are south of there. This storm is generally heading off to the east, and right there, the velocity where you see the winds going in different directions either away from the radar in red or toward the radar in green, right in here. That's where you can infer some spin, so that rotation. So those are a couple of the big clues we look for here as we get a closer look now at some of the timing, when you can expect some of the stronger storms to head to where you may be, West Columbia, Angelton in this, Holiday Lakes within the next half an hour or so, and then Bastrop Beach eventually if this does stay together as a tornado warning. Now we're jumping over here into Louisiana, and so we're not talking counties now, we're talking parishes. Grant, LaSalle, and Wynn parishes. If you're familiar with where we are here, here's Interstate 49. This is the northern part of the state, the northwest part of the state. Here's Natchitoches, where Northwestern University is here. Northwestern State is located. We are now east of that. And again, a tornado warning here. This one is in effect until 2:45. Also, basically what we're doing here is we're looking for the red and the green are really close to each other. And the brighter they are, likely the stronger the winds as well. So we're looking right in here for the possible rotation of this storm. Again, tornado warning, the timing for this over the next, say, 15 minutes or so. This storm is on its way to Breezy Hill, then eventually into Eden, Jenna, and Amoa. If you're in these areas, take cover now. And if you're in these areas right here, pay attention now and the next several hours where there remains the threat for some severe weather. It is very likely we're going to see some strong storms today, and there is a high chance here, a 7 out of 10 on our Torcon for these areas in purple, that there will be tornadoes. So if there is a number issued, whether it's a 2, 3, 5, or in this case a 7, there is a tornado threat. The bigger the number, the bigger the threat we're looking at. The Storm Prediction Center looking at these areas until either 3 or 7 with conditions remaining favorable for tornadoes. Tornado watches enter effect, so you can think of this as watch for warnings. And of course, we do have a couple of warnings right now. And you can see right here, this one south of Houston with the hook associated with this, and this one north of Alexandria here in the north central portion of Louisiana. So, Liana, we've been watching storms throughout the day, and now things starting to heat up, and we're expecting it to continue into tonight, even and potentially overnight.
Yeah, reaching as far as the Carolina coast as we get into tomorrow morning. So I'm going to give you that broader view. Let's take a quick look at Monroe, Louisiana. Ominous dark skies out there, but you can't really see any major action at the moment. But the thing is, we are going to be seeing more chances of severe thunderstorms picking up as we get through the rest of this evening. Take a look. Chris was just talking about several of these warnings. But even a little bit farther east, we're still looking at plenty of thunder, lots of rain. We do have a flash flood warning in parts of Alabama. Overall, we're going to see this mass really hold together and continue to drift eastward. So putting it into motion, starting the clock around 3 p.m. Central Time, we're looking at all of this spreading eastward. We're looking at some major arteries like Jackson, Montgomery, major cities, Savannah, all the way out there through about this evening. Some of these cells, again, really intense. So again, don't be so stuck on the exact location, because overall we will be seeing these little cells start to amplify. Even northern New Orleans, you can see these storms drift through the area as we get into the late evening, overnight hours, and it's still holding together. We're going to see it spread into northern parts of Georgia, Atlanta, and then spreading in towards Columbia. And then watch what happens as we get into early tomorrow morning. We're talking about 2, 3, 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. These are the times where you need to make sure your phone is charged so you can get those alerts, and it's going to continue to impact you in the Carolinas as we get closer in towards closer to about 6 a.m. right when you're about to get up and ready for work. Granted, your commute is a lot shorter lately because you're just going to another room in your house, and this is a good thing because we don't need many people out in these elements. Well, unfortunately, at least 14 of the more than 30 people killed in last weekend's deadly tornado outbreak are from Mississippi. Meteorologist Mike Seidel is live in Pearl, Mississippi, just outside Jackson, where people face multiple threats. Hey, Mike.
Good afternoon, Liana. Yes, there's a lot of trepidation here, especially north of here and south of here. South of here is where they had those 2 long-track tornadoes, EF3 and EF4s, and it turned out to be the widest tornado recorded on record east of the Mississippi, over 2 miles wide, down around Bassfield and those areas north and west of Laurel. Now we have the warm front like last week that shifted through Jackson. This morning it was cool and clammy. Now it's around 70. But get this, Starkville right now, the temperature's 55. And then you get south of the front, Laurel, Hattiesburg, up around 85 or 86. So a big temperature difference. So we're in the warm sector. Look at the radar. That was a lot of heavy rain to our north around Yazoo City along Highway US 82. That's about where the boundary is. But you tend to get additional spin near the warm front. So we're really concerned about the tornado threat from the warm front south. Northern Mississippi is going to be fine as far as tornadoes as you get up towards Memphis. This threat is going to be a little farther south than last week, especially in Alabama and Georgia. So back to our south and west. We had one storm come on through. There is a warning now off to our east and south for parts of Smith, Newton, and Scott counties. That goes till 3. But look off to our south and west on the radar. Big cluster storms. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings and a tornado warning based on radar. This is all heading towards Jackson. We're under a tornado watch until 7 o'clock tonight. The Torcon right now is 7. 7 on a scale of 10, so that's a pretty high number. So we run the risk of tornadoes, and the Storm Prediction Center is saying a couple of those could be strong tornadoes. Once again, tornado watch till 7 includes Jackson, Laurel, Hattiesburg, south to Macomb, where there's 2 big violent monster tornadoes developed last Sunday afternoon. So all over again, we're watching the radar on a Sunday afternoon after last week's Easter outbreak, as Liana mentioned, all the deaths. And there were 15 confirmed tornadoes just alone in Mississippi and over 130 from the entire outbreak. So, Chris, another dangerous afternoon and early evening here in central and southern Mississippi. We'll keep you updated. We're going to stay safe. We've got our protection, and we'll see what happens in the next couple of hours.
All right, yeah, we'll be checking back with you, Mike, for sure. And the threat for tornadoes, of course, is there. Also, large hail, damaging wind, and heavy rain, which could lead to some flooding. Let's take a look at that side of things right now, where it is possible and where we are expecting to see some of the wet weather on top of areas that have already been wet. And these are the areas here where it has been this year much wetter than average in yellow and orange, and that is important because the more rain you get, it's not going to take as much for that rain to come result in flooding when it falls on areas that have already seen a lot of water. And this is the water vapor imagery. You're seeing that moisture being pumped into the south here and looking across much of the south here. Like the threat for tornadoes, that is likely. Flash flooding is also likely today across parts of north central Louisiana, all the way over, going right across central Mississippi, central Alabama, through Georgia and into parts of South Carolina. So here's where the rain is right now. And you can see also in northern Louisiana, there's a flash flood warning, some flash flood warnings and flood advisories. Either some local urbanized flooding here, some small streams also going to be an issue. And you can see here in some of the darker red, that shows where some of the heaviest rain is coming down, and some of this rain is going to continue to go over some of the same areas. Here's the amount of rain that is expected going forward, about 3 to 5 inches in some spots. Also, if you notice here in the details, some areas, and it's the nature with these storms, we never know exactly where the biggest individual storm is going to set up. And with a big storm, that can also drop an awful lot of rain. So even more than 5 inches can't be ruled out at all with this, but generally speaking here in Jackson, here, Mississippi, anywhere in that 1 to 2 inch range is reasonable. But again, can't rule out some localized numbers higher than that. This is where we have some flood advisories and flood warnings right now in and around the Birmingham area. So Liana, still that threat for flooding does remain a big concern for the next several hours and during the overnight as well.
Watching so many impacts with this next round of severe storms. It's going to be reaching the coastal southeast by early tomorrow morning, Monday morning. Myrtle Beach in South Carolina and Savannah, Georgia, you could both be seeing these damaging storms or even a tornado spin up. Although for now, looks like we'll dial down the tornado threat several notches for Monday. Yeah, you're not looking at very high torcon numbers for either locations, but look at that sky out in Savannah, Georgia. Very pretty out there in the distance, huh? It's pretty, but it just kind of gives you an idea of what's going to be headed your way over the next several hours. Take a look. Likely chances of severe storms, damaging wind threat, up to 60-mile-per-hour winds are all possible. Some hail, and we do have that tornado threat. Let's show you why we're even seeing this. We have a couple of frontal systems that are going to be working their way, providing that extra lift that, of course, thunderstorms thrive on. And then we have these strong low-level winds that will help really mix down to the surface, leading into that damaging wind threat. So I mentioned we do have that tornado threat. It's a torcon of 3. Right now we're looking at torcons of 7 for this afternoon and evening farther west of here. But so it doesn't look as high, but still, you have a chance of seeing a tornado, 1 out of 10 scale, right? As far as timing this whole mess out, we'll see this leading push of rain continuing to creep in as we get into early tomorrow morning. Now we're starting to see these cells becoming a little extra frisky and aggressive. Augusta heads up. This is early tomorrow morning. So right when you're getting ready, if you're waking up this early anymore, but 7 a.m., 6, 7, 8 a.m., that's where we're expecting these storms to really breeze through the area. Savannah heads up. Spotty showers and cells expected for you. By midday, around your lunch hour, this is what we're expecting it to reach Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, Fayetteville, and it does start to wind down early afternoon hours. So right around 1, 2, 3 p.m. and closer to the end of your workday, you are looking at that slowly tapering off. So that's good, but it's the early morning hours that have me most concerned. People are going to be sleeping in, and you will be woken up with some plenty of lightning. If you're in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, that threat for thunderstorms extends all the way through your lunch hour. So finally, things do settle down. Hatteras, North Carolina, Chris, we're expecting that threat for thunderstorms early tomorrow morning.
The threat ongoing right now for severe weather and tornadoes. Breaking right now, new information on one of the tornado warnings we're looking at south of Houston and west of Galveston. This tornado warning now has someone observing the tornado. It was radar indicated now, but we are getting word from the Houston Galveston National Weather Service office that there has been an observation of a tornado with this storm. Now is the time to take shelter here in Brazoria County, Holiday Lakes, West Columbia here, and if this does hold together, Angleton as well. So again, a tornado warning currently in effect. This is the timing and observed tornado with this for West Columbia, East Columbia, also Holiday Lakes into Danbury. We'll get back to that in a moment. But first, another look at this tornado warning. This one right here in Louisiana, north central Louisiana, just to the east of Natchitoches right here. This one in effect until 2:45.
You may not see them, but your itchy eyes know they're out there. Thousands of allergens in each cubic yard of air. No wonder you rub your eyes hundreds of times a day. But now, relief is just one drop away. Introducing Pataday. Full prescription strength Pataday works right in your eyes, right on the cells that make them itch. Fast. Just one drop once a day means relief that lasts all day. So turn your day into a Pataday. Now get Pataday without a prescription. Everywhere.
I'm Joanne Jenkins with AARP. In these challenging times, we need each other more than ever. We may be apart, but we're not alone. Use AARP Community Connections to find or create a mutual aid group near you. Stay connected and help those in need.
Everyone seems to have a different opinion on what you should be eating. But the power of plants is one thing we can all agree on. V8, the original plant-powered drink. Veg up.
It's a challenging market. Edward Jones is well aware of that, which is why we're ready to listen and ready to help you find opportunity.
So, let's talk.
Edward Jones, it's time for investing to feel individual.
Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack.
Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep.
Stack Pringles flavors, make new ones!
I was missing teeth. It was painful to chew. And that's what originally drove me to Clear Choice.
When a patient comes in for their free consultation, oftentimes they're not happy with their dentures. Dental implant procedures, they're more permanent. The materials are made with a higher level of technology.
Implants are like normal teeth. I can now eat whatever I want. It's wonderful.
Your mission: stand up to moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis and take it on with Rinvoq. Rinvoq, a once-daily pill, can dramatically improve symptoms. Rinvoq helps tame pain, stiffness, swelling, and for some, Rinvoq can even significantly reduce RA fatigue. That's Rinvoq relief. With RA, your overactive immune system attacks your joints. Rinvoq regulates it to help stop the attack.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious infections and blood clots, sometimes fatal, have occurred, as have certain cancers, including lymphoma, and tears in the stomach or intestines, and changes in lab results. Your doctor should monitor your blood work. Tell your doctor about any infections, and if you are or may become pregnant while taking Rinvoq.
Ready to take on RA? Talk to your rheumatologist about Rinvoq relief. Rinvoq.
Doing the things we love can be painful. Aspercream's triple effect provides targeted relief, works in minutes, lasts for hours. Love hurts. Aspercream works.
It's a familiar story. Allergies ruining your sleep and next day too. Taking Zysol at night relieves allergies while you sleep, so you wake refreshed. Plus, it works faster than Claritin and on first dose provides the same relief as Zyrtec at nearly half the size. Be wise all. Take Zysol at night.
We New Yorkers have been through a lot. But in our darkest moments, we always find the light. We know what it means to look out for our neighbors, even if we've never even met them before. And with your strength and our more than 70,000 caring professionals, we'll heal once again, together, because that's just what New Yorkers do. Get the facts at northwell.edu/prepared and follow government guidance.
Go to mesobook.com. To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. Wake up watching AMHQ. Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 61 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, cloudy, low 50. Winds west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, overcast, high 56. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday night, partly cloudy skies, low 44. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Breaking right now on the Weather Channel, tracking an active severe weather threat, including a tornado threat right now across parts of Louisiana and Texas. It is this one right here south of Houston that has a tornado observed on it, and this for Brazoria County. It includes Holiday Lakes and West Columbia. Again, observed tornado associated with this storm. At one point, really showing an obvious hook, and it's still there. If you look just due west of Angleton right now, you can kind of see right in there where there is likely the hook. Now, the velocity, they couple it not quite as obvious as it was earlier, but still some rotation within this. And Brandon has highlighted the area where the tornado is most likely to be. And you can see the timing for this as it continues its eastward movement. And if it does hold together, the National Weather Service in Houston, Galveston will, if they extend this into an additional tornado warning, it potentially will be on the way to Danbury and Angleton. Again, we'll let you know if that does get extended and if this storm does stay together. But again, history of a reported observed tornado on that. And then right here, this one too. This one here, we are in Louisiana, in north central Louisiana, and you can see right in there, this is a little bit more obvious when you look at where the winds are either going away from the radar, it would be in this direction, or going toward the radar in this direction, which would tell us there is likely some rotation right in there where it's stronger. You're starting to see a little bit of a hook as well as this storm is also moving here to the east, and if it holds together, eventually we'll see as we update the timing for some of these towns. A matter of minutes in Georgetown, and then over to Jenna as well. So if you are in these areas, it's time now to be implementing your plan. Go to your safe location in your home. The threat for more severe weather is still underway, and it will be for the rest of this day tonight, and for some areas even into tomorrow morning. This does include a tornado threat. Liana, we know our tornado condition index has numbers as high of 7, only goes to 10. If there is a number, there is a threat. The bigger the number, the bigger the threat.
Yeah, it's pretty high for spots like Montgomery, Alabama. You are in that Torcon threat of 7 tonight, and we also have a flash flood watch, and it's because of how much rain we've been seeing so far this entire year. 3 to 5 inches of rain is expected for parts of Montgomery. So let's time it all out for you. A dismal gray view at the moment. You can see the roads are already wet. We can expect more storms to develop as we get into the next couple of hours. Still looking at some heavier rain sweeping across parts of Montgomery. Tuscaloosa seeing quite a bit of lightning as well. And all of this is streaking across a very saturated environment. I mean, we're looking at this whole zone across the southeast seeing upwards of 2 feet of rain since January 1st. So it's a lot of rain. It's insult to injury as we continue to see not just rain, but it's also these storms that have been working their way through the area. So as we get through the rest of this afternoon, more sporadic showers start to develop. Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, you stay in that yellow. The yellow means moderate rainfall is expected. We start seeing these cells become a little extra aggressive as we get closer to about 9, 10, 11 p.m. right before you get to bed. But that's the time when you need to make sure you have a way to get those alerts to be woken up. Make sure your phone is not on silent at this point, because we have these storms moving across the area even into the wee hours of Monday morning. This is 2, 3 a.m. before we slowly start seeing that energy start to drop off. Other locations like Jackson, look how much lightning you're getting. Wow, look at that. That is impressive. I mean, Vicksburg, you're just getting a lightning show. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning just out towards parts of I-20, just east of the city. But Chris, overall, we are expecting more showers, more thunder, more lightning, and the chances for tornadoes even as we get through the rest of this evening.
And Liana, as we just showed you, some big time numbers here for the Torcon, and the emergency alerts on your phone could be the only thing that stands between you and serious injury when severe weather hits. So look at some of these Torcon numbers. Again, it only goes up to 10. If there is a number, there is a threat. 7's pretty darn high threat here. Meteorologist Paul Goodlow walks you through some of the steps to safety.
We're not always by our TVs and radios when severe weather strikes, but chances are we do have our mobile phones with us. The emergency alert features found on most smartphones can be a lifesaver during severe weather. Here's how to make sure yours are enabled. On the iPhone, simply go to Settings, click Notifications, and scroll down to the bottom. Make sure the emergency alerts and public safety alerts are toggled to the green on position. For many Android phones, look in your message settings for the word Alerts, and you can choose which ones you want to enable from there. Some alerts can be in other locations on Android phones, so just search for the words emergency alerts. Fortunately, these smartphone alerts will work in any town you are in and will warn you of any possible dangerous weather heading your way.
We certainly hope everybody does stay safe. A tornado threat again stretching from Texas to the Carolinas. This includes Mississippi and Jackson, Mississippi, with a torcon of 7. Just to the east of there is where we find meteorologist Mike Seidel. Hi, Mike.
And Chris, good afternoon. The Storm Prediction Center is mesoed an area in Louisiana. Much of the state is going to go under a new tornado watch very shortly as the storms out of Texas head off to the east and north. Here in Jackson proper, we're watching a cluster of storms, a swarm of severe weather headed our way. We'll update the radar and the danger in Alabama and Georgia later on this evening.
We're open and ready to help your small business any way we can. Every ink for small business. And of course, shipping. TheUPSStore.com.
The fighting spirit is one we all share. That's why Modelo is donating $500,000 to the First Responders First Initiative to support the workers on the front line against COVID-19. For fighting for us, we raise a beer to you. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit.
At Marco's, get unlimited medium one-topping pizzas for just $6.99 each. Get the ultimate comfort food, cooked at over 450 degrees, with the comfort of knowing it's served contact-free. Order at marcos.com for contact-free delivery or carryout.
Discover the rainbow. Taste the rainbow. Wow, that's Ensure Max Protein with high protein and 1 gram sugar.
It's a sit-up, banana, bend at the waist. I'm trying. Keep it up. You'll get there. Whoa!
30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar. Ensure Max Protein.
Here's Candace, who works from home and then works from home. But she can handle pickup even when her bladder makes a little drop-off. Because Candace has poise. Poise under pressure and poise in her pants. It takes poise.
All the parts that you need to keep her on the road. For work, for school, everywhere you go. But sometimes they can be hard to find. Rock Auto's got the parts for whatever you drive. Upkeep on that work truck, you just save some big bucks. All the parts you're looking for delivered to your front door. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
All right, let's get going.
I want to make potato. I ordered it for everyone. I think I have the exact amount.
We got the biggest Subaru to help bring our family together.
Just resting my eyes.
Even though we're generations apart.
What a day. I just love those kids.
The 3-row Subaru Ascent. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Get 0% APR financing for 63 months on the 2020 Subaru Ascent and other select models.
These days, it's anything but business as usual. That's why working together is more important than ever. AT&T is committed to keeping you connected so you can keep your patients cared for, your customers served, your students inspired, and your employees closer than ever. Our network is resilient. Our people are strong. Our job is to keep your business connected. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do.
When the present is unpredictable, it's important to stay focused on the future. Personalized, goal-based financial advice can help you navigate today while still staying on track for your long-term financial goals tomorrow. At Ameriprise Financial, that's what we've done for over 125 years, and what our advisors will continue to do for generations to come. Ameriprise Financial.
You can hear it, hail today, and it's among other big threats hitting the south. Eastern Texas, you're no exception. Check out this hail coming down in the town of Trinity. Yeah, you want to bring in your cars for sure. I mean, this one, it's not the largest hail from what you can tell, but we are expecting some big hail expected throughout the rest of today. We could also see some damaging tornadoes across the south once again. Take a look. You do have a torcon of 7 in the purple. Jackson, Montgomery, a couple of the cities that are in the heart of that zone as well. We also have torcons of 5 in place for a little outside of that zone as well. Shreveport, Savannah, you're in that torcon of 5. So again, this is out of a 1 to 10 scale. Still a really solid chance of seeing a tornado. We actually have warnings popping up. Let's get the latest with Chris.
And right now I want to show you some of those warnings. And as we mentioned, could happen, has happened. That tornado warning south of Houston has been extended by the National Weather Service office, the Houston Galveston office there. So that has been extended to the east here. Still a possible tornado in progress right now. It was observed a little bit earlier. Again, this storm is moving to the east right now. Strong storm. It is on its way and expected to be getting closer to Angleton. We'll get to that in a moment. But back here to Louisiana, this one north of Alexandria here and east of Natchitoches for parts of Grant, LaSalle, and Wynn parishes. This one, too, is starting to show a little bit more of a little appendage or a possible hook here, which is a sign. The pattern the raindrops are making gives us a little insight to what the winds are doing within this storm. Likely some rotation with this. And then you look at the direction the winds or the winds are going based on the direction the raindrops are going. And in this case, when you see the red, that means the winds are going toward the radar. The green or away from the radar, the green is toward the radar. And when you have winds going side by side next to each other in this kind of environment, you conclude that there's some rotation going on. Doppler radar doesn't show you the winds going side to side, just to and from the radar here. So right in here is where we likely have that tornado, and also the correlation coefficient, something that is not symmetrical in the environment. So there could be some debris in the air. That's what is showing right here. You never know exactly what that could be. That could be leaves. That could be parts of structures, but something other than rain and hail in the environment right here. So you look at those three things: the pattern of the raindrops, also the fact that the winds are going in opposite directions really close to each other, and then that there's something else in the air other than rain here right over Highway 65 here tells us we likely have a tornado in progress as this is moving now to the east. Gaineyville, Jenna, Aimwell, also Harrisonburg and Dunbarton if this does hold together. And again, mentioned here, you can really see for a while the hook was very obvious on this. And now the tornado warning has been extended, reissued for areas farther to the east now in parts of Brazoria County still. Angleton, Danbury, Holiday Lakes. This is in effect until 3 o'clock, till the top of the hour here. Again, seeing some of that rotation right in here. And another look at the timing for this. If you are in these areas, take shelter right now. Make sure you are in your safe location. And these are the tornado watches that are in effect right now. They will continue to be issued as the day unfolds. So make sure you keep it tuned in here to the Weather Channel. We're going to be live for you through this evening. And that threat for tornadoes still existing here in Texas, into Louisiana, into Mississippi as well. And then eventually it's going to be going into Georgia and South Carolina. And after last weekend's deadly tornado outbreak in the south, people across Mississippi facing another potential for devastation. Meteorologist Mike Seidel is joining us now in Pearl, Mississippi, just outside of Jackson. Mike.
Good afternoon here from south side of Jackson and Pearl, right off I-20. And yes, a lot of folks in Mississippi, certainly in southern and central Mississippi, are very worried because of what happened last week, especially south of here with a 2 long track and EF4 with winds of 190, just under EF5 strength. This time around, we're watching the radar very closely. We're under a tornado watch here in Jackson, Laurel, Hattiesburg down to Macomb until 7. The Storm Prediction Center has just mentioned in a mezzo that they're going to extend the tornado watch, which is covering Houston and East Texas. That's going to extend farther east, covering most of Louisiana, because the one in Texas and parts of western Louisiana comes up for expiration in about an hour and about 20 minutes. So with that said, tornado watch here, look at the radar. A whole swarm of dangerous storms to our west and south. They're generally moving east-northeast at about 40 miles an hour, not moving as fast as last week's storms, which were rolling about 60 or 70 miles an hour, but we've got numerous severe thunderstorm warnings for straight line wind damage and hail, and that tornado warning too. So we'll be on the air here, keeping you posted between Macomb, Jackson. Already heavy rain, plenty of lightning in Yazoo City, Mississippi. Stay with us and stay safe.
Hey, can I
hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Okay. Safe driver, save 40%. Guys.
Check it out. Safe driver, save 40%.
Safe driver, save 40%.
Safe driver, save 40%.
That's Safe Driver Save 40%.
It is. That's Safe Driver Save 40%.
It's right there.
It's him. He's here.
He's right here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey. That's totally him.
That's him.
That's totally the guy.
Safe drivers do save 40%. Click or call for a quote today.
Life doesn't update you about your credit card, so meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
If your gums bleed when you brush, you may have gingivitis, and the clock could be ticking towards bad breath, receding gums, and possibly tooth loss. Help turn back the clock on gingivitis with Parodontax. Leave bleeding gums behind. Parodontax.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good.
There will be parties again soon, and family gatherings. There will be parades, and sporting events, and concerts. To help our communities when they come back together, respond to the 2020 census now. Spend a few minutes online today to impact the next 10 years of healthcare, infrastructure, and education. Go to 2020census.gov and respond today to make America's tomorrow brighter. It's time to shape our future.
Discover the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
Where can a healthier heart lead you? For people with heart failure taking Entresto, it may lead to a world of possibilities. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto.
When our daughter and her kids moved in with us, our bargain detergent couldn't keep up.
Turns out it's mostly water.
So we switched back to Tide. One wash, stains are gone.
Don't pay for water. Pay for clean. It's gotta be Tide.
When it comes to longevity, who has the highest percentage of its vehicles still on the road today? Subaru. When it comes to best overall value, who does IntelliChoice rank #1? Subaru. And when it comes to safety, who has more 2020 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winning vehicles? More than Toyota, Honda, and Hyundai combined? Subaru. It's easy to love a car you can trust. It's easy to love a Subaru.
Get 0% APR financing for 63 months on select Subaru models now through April 30th.
Is that net carbs or total? Nah, not enough fiber. Chocolate would be good.
Snacking should be sweet and simple. The delicious taste of Glucerna gives you the sweetness you crave while helping you manage your blood sugar. Glucerna, everyday progress.
Breaking right now on the Weather Channel, an ongoing severe weather threat here in West Columbia, Texas. We are checking in with one of the storm trackers here that is on the scene, on the move right now. And as we're watching here, again, this is in West Columbia here in Texas. You can see that the skies are dark off in the distance. They're just a little bit darker here in this part of Texas, where we do have the potential for some of the stronger storms today. And this right here, where he is not too far away from where there is an ongoing tornado warning right now. This is south of Houston, and we're looking at the dark skies. What's difficult here, if you haven't been to this part of Texas, there's a lot of vegetation. You can see how green it is. There's a lot of trees around. So it is difficult here to see too far on the horizon. The heavy rain also making things difficult as well to see too much. But this certainly should get your attention. It is getting the attention here of this storm tracker. Bob Pack here, it looks like pulling over here for the moment with the dark skies going all the way down to the horizon there. It's hard to make out any distinct shapes with the clouds, but seeing the very dark skies, and if this is a storm tracker here, I'm pretty sure he's aware of what the radar is showing right now. So my guess is, based on where he is, and without having actually spoken with Bob here, my guess is that he is on this storm here that is moving right now through portions of Texas here in Brazoria County. And this, as we look we can go ahead and take a look at the radar. And I believe where he is, again, is pretty close here, possibly on the tail side of this. There's Angleton right there, and the storm going over it right now. We're also looking here live at this view as he is again on the move with what was earlier observed tornado. This tornado warning in effect for another 20 minutes. The rotation not as obvious on velocity right now, but as we go through time, you can get a general sense of where it likely is right now if it is still together. And again, this is still moving off to the east at this time, bringing a lot of rain, which is also making it difficult to observe tornadoes. But again, this one does have a history of someone seeing the tornado in progress. And if it does hold together, getting to the coastline there to Bay Harbor here in a matter of minutes here, next several minutes. For the next several hours, that tornado threat will continue for these areas, East Texas, almost the entire state of Louisiana, into central Mississippi that was hit so hard 1 week ago today. And then likely from the Storm Prediction Center, we'll let you know if or when this happens, but likely to see more watches extending farther east. We just have to get closer in time for that. But it does appear likely that there will be strong storms and tornadoes. A torcon of 7 is significant here. Again, a 7 out of 10. If there's a 2 or a 3, there's a tornado threat. But the bigger the number, the bigger the threat. And there's a 7 today.
Yeah, and that's pretty high. I mean, we all have multiple threats that we're tracking through this evening. Flooding is definitely one of them. Flooding actually breached this home in Alexander City, Alabama, covering the floors. Look at this. I mean, this is not what you want to be dealing with inside your home, right? Take a look outside, though. You can see evidence of strong winds and rain leaving this car completely covered. Look at that. Oh, such a mess. Severe storm threats continue in central Alabama this afternoon through tonight, including the possibility of tornadoes. But I'm going to focus on the flood threat. It's been a very, very wet season so far this year, all across the southeast. In some places, we've seen almost 2 feet of rain, if not more, since January 1st. So we're seeing very wet conditions across the same zone that's going to be seeing more wet weather pick up. Already we're seeing plenty of water vapor. Look how this blossom of grains showing this very juicy atmosphere that's spreading across the southeast. This will lead to the chance for flash flooding through tomorrow morning. We have a lot of moisture that we can tap into. Likely chances everywhere in the yellow, spreading from central Louisiana and northern Louisiana towards Jackson, Montgomery, Macon, Savannah, even getting clipped right here. And it does extend north and south of that yellow zone as well. So anywhere in this area, we have that potential for seeing flooding. We already have multiple warnings that are developing across parts of central Alabama and right towards the border of Georgia. We also have a couple ones in northern Louisiana as well, but I expect more to pop up. It's going to be coming in with about 3 to 5 inches of rain, and some of these numbers could be even higher because these storms are very, very juicy. We're going to see it just dump a lot of rain in these zones. This is from now into tomorrow, but even extending out towards the coast, that's 2 to 3 inches, even up towards an inch of rain, even towards the Florida Panhandle. And real quick, Chris, we're looking at Jackson, Mississippi, seeing an additional 2 to 3 inches of rain expected.
And Liana, that juicy nature of the atmosphere you can think of as also like fuel for these storms. And we're seeing a lot of storms in the southern states again for the second weekend in a row, including areas here from the Houston, Galveston region over to Lake Charles up to northern Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi, and then eventually getting over to Mobile, Alabama, Pensacola, Florida as well. Let's take a closer look now at some of the threats, some of the timing with this. And with that, severe thunderstorms thunderstorm warning and tornado warning still in effect here. Tornado warning in effect for Brazoria County going over Angleton right now. And eventually, if it does hold together, we'll be getting to the coastal areas and some of these areas. Let's go now to Angleton and take a live look here at some of that very heavy rain. And still this, where a tornado warning does remain in effect.
You may not see them, but your itchy eyes know they're out there. Thousands of allergens in each cubic yard of air. No wonder you rub your eyes hundreds of times a day. But now, relief is just one drop away. Introducing Pataday. Full prescription strength Pataday works right in your eyes, right in the cells that make them itch. Fast. Just one drop once a day means relief that lasts all day. So turn your day into a Pataday. Now get Pataday without a prescription. Everywhere.
Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting Ensure with 9 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, and nutrients to support immune health.
Buick and GMC are here to help. For our customers, that means helping you stay at home. That's why we've made it possible for you to shop online with Shop Click Drive, and you may even be able to schedule your certified service appointment online from home. For our healthcare professionals who are doing so much to keep us safe, we are introducing a special discount to thank you for all that you do. These are unprecedented times. Buick and GMC are here to help.
Hi, I'm Lolly, a Domino's franchisee.
As you can see, we're open and working hard to safely keep putting food on people's tables.
And we could use your help doing that.
If getting some full or part-time work during these tough times could help you.
Domino's is hiring. Head to jobs.domino's.com
and apply today. Because we're not only committed to putting food on people's tables,
We're committed to helping you put food on your table.
It's a small finger, a worm.
Like a dagger?
Tiny sword.
Breadstick.
Matchstick.
A lamppost.
Coin slot. No.
10 seconds.
A stick, a walking stick, a
Eiffel
boundary,
Tower.
Mount Kilimanjaro, Big Horse,
Sorry. It's a tandem bicycle.
What?
As long as sloths are slow, you can count on Geico saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you.
Spectrum Mobile delivers the fastest overall speeds and is the most reliable mobile service coast to coast. Now, we're bringing you 5G, so you can game, stream, and experience reality all at the speeds you want. So when you're ready for 5G, we'll have the latest 5G phones and the top-performing network ready for you. To learn more, visit SpectrumMobile.com. Spectrum Mobile, now with 5G.
Anyway. Take on me, take on me, take me on.
Every Troy built is tested to make yard work the best work. Get the reliable Pony 42, starting at $13.49.
To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. Wake up watching AMHQ. Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 61 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy, low 50. Winds west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, overcast, high 56. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday night, partly cloudy skies, low 44. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Pearl, Mississippi. We're just south of downtown Jackson, and we're watching storms coming in from the west. We're also looking at the sky off to the north and northwest, and it looks a little foreboding. There's a lot of heavy rain out in that direction. You can see on the radar a lot of lightning, and we've got severe thunderstorm warnings. All of this action is moving east-northeast at about 40 to 50 miles an hour. So heavy rain, plenty of lightning, could be some straight line wind damage, and even some hail up to quarters. So we've got the warnings for that. We also have a new tornado watch from the Storm Prediction Center. They gave us a heads up on that. And this includes part of eastern Texas, some southwestern counties here in Mississippi, and most of Louisiana as far east as the suburbs of New Orleans. This watch is until 10, so this extends the watch that was going to expire shortly. Farther east includes most of Louisiana for that tornado threat, and some of the tornadoes could be strong. So we've got a long evening ahead of us, and especially here in Mississippi, where they had a deadly day last Sunday with 12 fatalities and 15 tornadoes, including 2 long-track tornadoes, Chris. I think the EF4, from what I remember, was on the ground for 67 miles with estimated max winds at 190 miles an hour, so that's almost an EF5. So a lot of folks, when they hear thunder and lightning and hear those sirens go off or they get their alerts, you can imagine there are a lot of nervous people in addition to what we're going through in society with the COVID-19.
Yes, Mike, and unfortunately today another high chance here of seeing some of the stronger storms, which does include the possibility for some strong tornadoes again. Yes, 1 week after the Easter Sunday tornado outbreak that lasted into Monday, and tomorrow there's still going to be the threat early in the day as well. We'll get to that here in just a moment, and who's going to need to be on alert overnight tonight and into the morning. But right now, tornado warning still here south of Houston, and several severe thunderstorm warnings here across parts of East Texas into Louisiana, and then from Louisiana into Mississippi, where Mike is as well. So let's start here to the south of Houston, again near Angleton. A tornado warning in effect right now. It does remain in effect here until the top of the hour. A big, tall storm here, dropping a lot of rain out ahead of this storm, as well as it does continue to move off to the east, well within an area where conditions do remain favorable for the development of tornadoes. Our exclusive torque hunt here at the Weather Channel is a 7 out of 10. And notice, too, where that tornado warning is in effect down here, that's in a 2. So we have 2s, 3s, 5s, and 7s currently in effect here at Leon. So if there is a number, there is a threat, but the bigger the number, the bigger the threat.
Yeah, and that's pretty high, too. We also have that severe threat pushing even into other parts of the southeast, hitting the coast early tomorrow. Storms will be reaching coastal Carolina, including you in Charleston, South Carolina, and Wilmington, North Carolina. Ominous looking skies out there, but you aren't seeing the brunt of it just yet. It's going to be happening in the wee hours of Monday morning. We have that severe threat, that chance for severe storms really hugging in the coast, Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, Charleston, smack dab in the middle of that. It does extend out towards the Outer Banks, Hatteras included in that, and down towards Savannah. It's all possible for you through tomorrow morning. In that zone, we have the possibility for damaging winds and also the chance for lightning, thunder, and even some small hail could come out of this, but also that tornado threat. I'll cover that in just a second. These winds aloft, they can easily mix down to the surface, bringing in that damaging wind threat, 60+ mile-per-hour winds. So make sure if you have anything outdoors that you don't want blowing around, make sure you bring it indoors. That tornado threat, not as high as what we're seeing this afternoon for places west of here. We have a torque on a 3 in place, though, still. That's nothing to scoff at. We're looking at that expected through tomorrow morning. We have a torque on to 3 for you in Charleston, Myrtle Beach, and up towards Morehead City. And up until about 6, 7 a.m. tomorrow, that's where we're going to see these storms really start to amplify and pick up. Look at this whole line. All this mess is going to continue, Chris, and it's going to be swinging through midday, even through your lunch hour. Be prepared.
And a lot of individual storms to watch right now, Leon, and we are looking at one right now. This is a severe thunderstorm warned storm here that we are currently watching live on the Weather Channel in Mize, Mississippi. This is roughly halfway between Hattiesburg and Jackson, Mississippi. If you're familiar with this area, this would be east of Highway 49. And looking at some kind of scraggly looking clouds, very dark skies here at the moment here. And the reason, of course, the skies are dark, there's a lot of rain essentially blocking out the sun with these very dark skies. Essentially, it's the clouds casting a shadow on itself here. So again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for this location where this storm currently is. And starting to see on the radar, there may be some rotation within this, and that may be why we have the storm tracker taking a look right here where there seems to be a little bit of a hook going on, maybe some rotation. We'll be right back.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good.
V8 has 30 calories. For that many calories, you could have 9 veggie chips. These are more chip than veggie, while V8 is a snack you can veg out on. V8, the original plant-powered drink. Veg up.
Doug.
Give me your hand! I can save you! Lots of money with Liberty Mutual. We customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Given the current situation, we are all affected by what is going on in America today. And I was asking myself, like, what could I do? I feel proud that along with my colleagues, I have been called upon to do what we can to help in this situation. I feel like I'm doing it for all the families in America. We're not going anywhere. We're here. This is bigger than all of us. But together, we can get through this.
We're open and ready to help your small business any way we can. Every ink for small business. And of course, shipping. TheUPSStore.com.
Discover the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
Every day, millions of people looking for healthy skin reach for Cetaphil, recommended by dermatologists, awarded by Allure, and most of all, loved by skin. Cetaphil, the cleanser sensitive skin loves.
We're looking at a live view of Charles Peak, our storm tracker, who's working their way through Taylorsville, Mississippi, following some severe storms and a warm storm, actually, that we've been following. Look, you can see how ominous the sky is. Plenty of rain. I don't see the windshield wipers going, though, but you can see how wet the roads are down on the ground. Now, we are going to continue tracking. Oh, there's the windshield wiper, kind of clearing out the whatever droplets that were landing on the windshield. But we are going to be expecting the chances for tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail expected out of these storms. We're going to continue to see it develop across the southeast just 1 week after the deadly Easter Sunday storms and tornadoes that worked their way just a week ago. Chris, let's go ahead and get the latest on these storms and this one in particular that Charles Peak was just tracking as well.
You mentioned he's in Taylorsville, just on the edge of that rain, so not using those windshield wipers just yet. But where he is, it's going to be interesting to see if anything comes of this. So there looks like to be a little bit of an appendage showing up here. Possible hint that there may be some rotation associated with this system, but nothing really jumps out at this point. There are some winds going in different directions, but it's pretty broad here. And again, winds going in different directions really close to each other would make us think that there's some rotation going on there, but there's likely some broad rotation going on there. So we're now looking at the scope of this, and right now no tornado warnings to tell you about. So a little bit of good news for now. Not saying that's going to be a trend, because the atmosphere, especially in these areas right here over the next few hours, the atmosphere is still prime for some strong storms, which does include still that tornado threat. And our Torcon here, as we look at the chances for seeing tornadoes, when you look at the threat level here going up to 10, any number on the map here would mean there is the possibility for tornadoes. But a 7 is getting pretty high. It only goes up to 10. So the bigger the number, the bigger the threat here. From Houston to Jackson, this is where the Storm Prediction Center has tornado watches currently in effect. So conditions, as we've been seeing, are still conducive, are still favorable for the development of tornadoes. And if a warning happens in these areas here at the Weather Channel, we'll let you know about it. And here's what's happening right now in the big picture. We are seeing this big storm right here did have, here's the rain associated with it, but all the clouds blowing off. So getting very high up into the atmosphere. It did have a hook, did have an observed tornado at one point, and we're seeing a lot of the active weather here. And then here as well, all of this very heavy rain falling on ground that is really wet. So flash flooding does remain a concern. Here's where the conditions right now are favorable for some strong storms here, very unstable atmosphere. And through the rest of this afternoon, we're going to continue to watch these areas for the potential of some of these stronger storms. You can see these temperatures are a little cool up here for some of the strongest storms. Not saying we're not going to get any, because it is still a possibility, but you get down here into the 80s here, really even into Tallahassee. But notice you have 85 degrees in New Orleans, and this air coming off of the Gulf of Mexico, bringing with it moisture and this warm air still moving to the north. And you see here these lines coming together, the winds coming together, they're converging, and when they meet, they don't go down, they go up. And we're seeing some of the showers that are forming right along where those winds are converging, where they're coming together right now. So that's the focal point here for some of the heavier rain and storms. And if this doesn't progress too far this way or this way, we're going to end up with more flash flood warnings. We already have some out there right now. And then there's the wind shear as well. So in this case, we're looking at winds at different levels of the atmosphere. We're looking at the surface winds coming up from the south, and at 5,000 feet, they're going from the west to the east in some areas. A little bit faster over here, a little bit more prominent as well. So it's going to be some of these areas initially where we're going to be watching for the potential of some of these rotating storms that could, Liana, we know, produce tornadoes today, and in fact, even into tonight.
Yeah, I mean, so many multiple threats that we're tracking all the way into tomorrow morning, even reaching the coast. Let's take you now to Monroe, Louisiana, where we're going to expect some stormy action head your way as well. Gloomy skies, you can see kind of a blurred out image, and it's raining out there right now. Plenty of rain to come through this area, and we don't need any more. We have the potential for flash flooding, of course, tornadoes like Chris was talking about, damaging winds and hail. We have it all coming in 1 week today, exactly, from the deadly Easter Sunday outbreak. And as we continue to watch this zone right here, Chris was just talking about everything in detail. We do have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, but as we get through the next several hours, as we time out the rest of this afternoon, everything will start to fill in. Everywhere that's pretty much dry, you can expect more rain to develop, and even, of course, that potential for flash flooding. Some of these cells particularly aggressive, especially along the Gulf Coast in that warmer sector that Chris was mentioning. This is through the 6 p.m. this evening time period. We will continue to see it work its way across the northern parts of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas. Heads up, it's headed your way as we get. I'll cover that actually in just a little bit as we get into tomorrow morning. But as we continue through this evening. We'll continue even seeing these cells sweep through New Orleans through the late evening hours. Before you go to bed, make sure your phone is charged just in case you lose power. And then also we're expecting it to creep in towards the rest of the deep south as we get into 2, 3, 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. So that's right when you're the deepest sleep, REM sleep, of course, and you might be woken up with some thunder, some lightning, and of course that heavy rain. But like I mentioned, at least 14 of the more than 30 people killed in last weekend's deadly tornado outbreak are from Mississippi. Meteorologist Mike Seidel is live in Pearl, Mississippi, just outside Jackson, where people face multiple threats today. How are things going? It looks like the rain has really picked up for you, Mike.
We've got some light rain right now, Liana, so it has increased a little bit. We had some downpours earlier from a cell that went by, and that's the one that Charles Peak is on, well off to our east and a little north and east of here, over in east central areas of Mississippi. Meanwhile, we're keeping an eye on the radar. This is what it's all about right now. It's the short-term forecast. Tornado watch here in Jackson, Hattiesburg, Laurel, the same areas that were hit very hard last week. Some of the areas. Now here in Jackson, we were fortunate the tornado warned storms and the actual tornadoes missed us to the north and south. But, you know, you don't let your guard down. Torcon of 7, tornado watch till 8 o'clock tonight. So we'll see if that gets extended, because they already extended the watch that was in Texas, Louisiana, farther east, and that goes till 10. But there is a whole slew of storms just to our south and west. In fact, the city of Jacksonville proper over in Hinds County and southwest Madison County now under a severe thunderstorm warning till 3:45. All these storms warned for potentially straight line wind damage, gusts over 60 miles an hour, and the potential for some hail. Not huge hail, but we're talking up to quarter size. That can still put some dents in your cars. And plenty of heavy rain. We've got a flash flood watch for this part of Mississippi until 1 a.m. So right now you can see how the storms are going over the same area. That's what we call training. Some of these areas get 3, 4, even 5 inches of rain, and we'll see in the short term if we get any flash flood warnings. But the flash flood watch, again, for this part, central Mississippi, until 1 a.m. in the morning. We have the tornado threat with that Torcon way up at 7, just like last Sunday, and we'll see how it all comes together. But over the next couple of hours, these storms coming out of Louisiana, crossing the mighty Mississippi, coming towards Jackson, the I-55 corridor, and then continuing to head east and east-northeast along I-20. Now, the difference this Sunday versus last Sunday, the tornado threat doesn't go as far north in Mississippi and certainly in Alabama and Georgia and into southern Tennessee. Remember, we had those horrible tornadoes in North Georgia up near the Tennessee line in Chattanooga. But, Chris, this time around, that threat is going to be farther south, generally south of Atlanta for the tornado threat. That's one hint of good news for parts of the southeast, but there's still many millions of folks that have to be on their guard. Stay with the Weather Channel. We're going to be on to 11 o'clock tonight. Chris, I think you've got more on that flash flood threat, which we really didn't have last Sunday with the severe weather.
Yeah, so we are looking at that flash flood threat, and we'll get back to Mike here in just a little bit. But part of the problem here is that there's been so much rain lately. Think about this. You have two sponges. One is waterlogged and the other one is completely dry. So you have a completely soaked sponge and then a completely dry sponge. You take a can of soda and you dump it on each one. Which one's going to overflow first? It's kind of what the ground's doing right now, right? So we have so much water already in the ground, it's not going to take much more, so it's going to run off. And we can take a look now at just how much rain has come down. In some areas, you're 8 to even 16 inches wetter than what you would expect at this point in the year so far this year. Many areas much, much wetter than average. So it's going to be some of these northern locations here. Well, the Gulf Coast actually has been pretty dry. That's not going to last too much longer today. But we're seeing where a lot of that moisture is streaming through, is coming through parts of the south. So we are thinking that flash flooding is actually likely. And one of those big ingredients, of course, is the fact that there's been so much rain lately. But the fact that we're going to see a lot of rain out of this round is really the biggest factor here, the biggest contributor, with some of these areas already seeing some consistent and persistent rainfall. South of Birmingham, north of Montgomery, you can see this whole stretch of flash flood warnings, flood advisories in the darker green. Some of the local streams, some of the urban areas could be flooding, and then flash flood warnings here in the brighter green, even one here in north central Louisiana. But you see what's really going on with this one right here. You see that line. You just focus on that red, or how it's slowly shifting to the north. And we're seeing that also over here. So it's shifting to the north, but also there's a little progression going from left to right or from west to east as well. So more rain on the way. And where that rain is right now is where we're still expecting to see some of the highest rainfall totals. Some areas 3 to 5 inches can't be ruled out. But overall, most areas with these storms, if they come and just kind of sneak off, 1 to 2 inches. But you can't rule out still that some of these huge thunderstorms, especially if we get a couple of them, which is possible, you could end up more of that 3 to 5 in the yellow category here. In Birmingham, we've already seen quite a bit of rain on top of the rain we've already seen through tonight, possibly another 2, maybe 3 inches of rain. So flooding concerns definitely going to be here. It looks like the south side of Atlanta is going to be the place where it has the better chance for the higher rainfall totals. 3 inches here, also 1 to 2 inches on the north side of town as well. So flooding certainly will remain one of the big concerns going forward.
And then these severe threats shift eastward, hitting the coast by Monday morning. Taking a live look at Myrtle Beach in South Carolina and Savannah, Georgia, where we're starting to see the rain starting to pick up for you in Savannah. The severe stuff doesn't pick up until tomorrow morning, though. So you have a long way to go as we get through tonight. We have that chance for damaging winds, even a tornado to spin up. Although for now, we are dialing back a little bit on the tornado threat for Monday for you. We have a Torcon in place, though. So that means that you still have a shot for tornadoes. Take a look at the damaging wind threat or the severe thunderstorm threat. We have damaging winds expected in this zone, likely in the dark red, Charleston, Myrtle Beach up towards Wilmington, but it does extend even farther north towards the Outer Banks, a little bit farther south, clipping parts of Savannah as well. We have that potential to see some flash flooding. I mean, this whole arena, this whole area is very, very just saturated. The soil is. So we're going to have plenty of zones for more rain to develop. These storms are going to get that extra kick thanks to these frontal boundaries, allowing that lift to develop. And thunderstorms, that's what they love. They need that lift to really thrive. And then we also have this low-level jet that's going to bring in packing those strong damaging winds. 60+ mile-per-hour winds not out of the question. We mentioned that we're actually dropping down the Torcon just a little bit. Yeah, we don't have Torcons of 7 in place. It's farther west of you here along the coast, but we do have Torcons of 3 in place. Again, the higher the number, the bigger the threat. So Torcon of 3 on the lower side, but it's still not 0. So you need to make sure you have a way to get those alerts, especially since it's going to be arriving into the wee hours of tomorrow morning, right when you're deep asleep in that REM sleep, that good heavy sleep. You need to make sure your phone is not on vibrate, it's loud, and you're able to get to these alerts because they're going to be rumbling through the area around 4, 5, 6, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Savannah, some of these cells becoming a little extra frisky. Notice this little dot of white that's sweeping in with that zone. That is indicating a very severe storm already on models. This is the forecast model. As we get into midday tomorrow, around your lunch hour, things start to taper off, and then we say bye-bye to this threat by the early afternoon hours. Just a few tendrils of wraparound energy as we get through the rest of the evening. So timing it all out for you, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, we have that threat for thunderstorms extending all the way through midday, through your lunch hour. I know many of you, you have a shorter commute, moving from the bedroom to the living room, wherever you're working, but you still need to be weather aware as we get through the rest of the day and tomorrow. Hatteras, North Carolina, again, the best shot of thunderstorms really in the morning hours, but we do have a solid chance of rain extending all the way into the late evening hours. Chris?
Another reminder here, Liana, make sure your devices are charged as well, because as we look at some of the areas here in parts of Alabama, including Birmingham, that had storms earlier, some may not have power. And there is the threat that we're going to have more active and potentially severe weather. And from Tuscaloosa to Birmingham over to Talladega, you can see some of the heavier rain is coming down or will be coming down. You can see the progression of this heavier rain here to the south of Birmingham, going up and over some areas that have already been extremely wet and where there do remain some flood alerts at this moment. Here's the forecast jumping ahead here in time through the next several hours. The high-resolution future radar does keep that threat for some heavy rain going in Birmingham through the next several hours. So you can see, even at 8 o'clock this evening, there's still some moderate to, if not very heavy rain coming down. 10 o'clock, same story. And then by the overnight hours, midnight into 1 o'clock in the morning, we'll finally start to see a little bit of improvement, but that does not mean we're necessarily done. Could still see some showers and possibly some storms taking us into the morning. But again, there is a tornado threat today. It is another big threat for tornadoes. A 7 out of 10 on our Torcon. That number only goes up. The scale only goes up to 10. So big threat today and a big area under that threat.
Wow, that's Ensure Max Protein with high protein and 1 gram sugar.
It's a sit-up, banana, bend at the waist. I'm trying. Keep it up. You'll get there. Whoa!
30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar. Ensure Max Protein.
You want a fresh-smelling home, but some air fresheners use heavy, overwhelming scents. Try Febreze One, a range of innovative air fresheners with no heavy perfumes that you can feel good about using in your home to deliver a light, natural-smelling freshness. Febreze One neutralizes stale, stuffy odors and releases a subtle hint of fragrance, like bamboo or lavender and eucalyptus. To eliminate odors with no heavy perfumes, try Febreze One. Brand power helping you buy better.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good.
Life doesn't update you about your credit card, so meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack. Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep. Stack Pringles flavors, make new ones!
I suffered with psoriasis for so long.
I felt gross. People were afraid I was contagious.
I was covered from head to toe. I was afraid to show my skin. After I started Cosentix, I wasn't covered anymore. 4 years clear. 5 years now.
I just look and feel better.
See me.
Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentix. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms. If your inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to, serious allergic reactions may occur.
5 years is just crazy.
See me.
Ask your dermatologist about Cosentix.
You may not see them, but your itchy eyes know they're out there. Thousands of allergens in each cubic yard of air. No wonder you rub your eyes hundreds of times a day. But now, relief is just 1 drop away. Introducing Pataday. Full prescription strength Pataday works right in your eyes, right on the cells that make them itch. Fast. Just 1 drop once a day means relief that lasts all day. So turn your day into a Pataday. Now get Pataday without a prescription. Everywhere.
Hey, America, I've got something to say.
The census counts us all.
And an accurate count helps inform where billions go every year.
So don't miss your chance to be counted.
Shape your future. Start here.
As chairman of our family-owned Cambridge Paving Stones, I welcome you all to the annual board meeting.
Really? Grandpa?
Board meeting!
Wait till they learn it's not all fun and games, because we make Cambridge Paving Stones the hard way with ArmorTech, our unique process that produces a rich color that looks beautiful for years to come.
I'm the chairman of the board!
Paving stones with ArmorTech, they'll always look like new.
Doing the things we love can be painful. Aspercream's triple effect provides targeted relief, works in minutes, lasts for hours. Love hurts. Aspercream works.
It's a familiar story. Allergies ruining your sleep and next day too. Taking Zysol at night relieves allergies while you sleep, so you wake refreshed. Plus, it works faster than Claritin and on first dose provides the same relief as Zyrtec at nearly half the size. Be wise all, take Zysol at night.
To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. Wake up watching AMHQ. Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 61 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy, low 49. Winds west-southwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Monday, cloudy skies, high 55. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday night, partly cloudy, low 43. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Heavy rain coming down. I like to call this road rain. Getting absolutely soaked if you were walking underneath this right here. Elevated roadway. This is some of that soaking rain in the Houston area this morning. Radar estimates show about 2 inches came down in Houston, and Houston is prone to some flooding, of course, based on the terrain and frankly too the amount of water that can come down here in this part of the U.S. And here's a sign of that, just so much rain pouring off of some of the streets overhead. That rain threat is not over yet. The storm threat is not over yet for you in Houston. Here's this storm we've been watching now moving into Galveston that is going to bring some very heavy rain and lightning associated with that storm, and the one that is cruising just north of Houston right now. So heavy rain and flooding certainly is a threat. Hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes today. No tornado warnings right now, but the threat for damaging winds, hail, heavy rain, lightning, all there right now in some of these severe thunderstorm warnings that we're tracking right now, from Georgia to Mississippi, back over to Louisiana and Texas, here in East Texas, and even a severe thunderstorm warning in the Red River Valley there in the southeast part of Oklahoma, with flash flood warnings also in effect across parts of Mississippi. And you get some of these lone severe thunderstorm warnings, severe storms out ahead of what may be the next round coming through. So possibly more than one punch for some of these areas here. And this severe thunderstorm warning we're looking at here does include Jackson, Mississippi. We're going to hear from Mike Seidel here in just a little bit, who is right over, I believe, somewhere in there. So we're going to chat with him in just a little bit. But over here as well, another sign of what we're going to be watching. Sometimes after the severe thunderstorm warning comes the flash flood warning, with a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. A lot of ground is already wet in the south, so the chances that there is going to be a flooding is certainly going to be there. The chances you get more than one storm also going to be there. There was a severe thunderstorm warning earlier in Natchitoches, and as we look here, look at that, a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings in East Texas about to get over the state line with Louisiana. So, Liana, that threat for severe weather is not going to be a one and done for a lot of areas. It could be multiple rounds.
Yeah, exactly. Places like Montgomery, Alabama, you are in that Torcon threat of 7. That's pretty high on a scale from 1 to 10. We also have a flash flood watch in place where we're expecting 3 to 5 inches of rain for parts of Montgomery. Already seeing the wet roads, you're kind of getting a little bit of a break, but expect this main onslaught of stormy action headed your way through the rest of this afternoon and evening. So take a look as we time out the threat from you in Montgomery and Birmingham. We're looking at that threat of light rain picking up right now, but check out what's to the south of here. Look at all that lightning just lighting up parts of Marion, Alexander City, Tuscaloosa getting ready to get in on some major lightning as well. As we time out the rest of this afternoon, it really starts to pick up closer to dinner time. So 6, 7, 8 p.m. is when these storms will really be blasting through the area. As we get into the wee hours of tomorrow morning, they taper off a little bit, but we're still looking at the overnight period still very, very active. So rain, damaging winds, you'll be going to bed in these kind of stormy conditions. So make sure your phone is charged just in case you lose power. And then we again get a little bit of a break as we get into tomorrow morning. And then it heads in towards Jackson, already seeing plenty of stormy action. We have a severe thunderstorm warning just southwest of the city. 4 p.m. Let's start you off. We're starting to see these cells start to come together closer to dinner time, and then they really stick together and hold together as we get into the late evening hours. So we're looking at 8, 9, 10 p.m. just before midnight, right before typically you'd be going to bed, right? That we're still watching these storms blast through the area, and we'll still see some residual showers early tomorrow morning, but nothing severe. Chris.
Liana, we know that emergency alerts on your phone could be the only thing that stands between you and serious injury when severe weather threatens. And there's a look at how the Torcons are shaping up right here. Jackson, Mississippi, Montgomery, Alabama, a 7 out of 10, then stretching all the way east to the Atlantic coast and Savannah, Georgia, a 5 out of 10. So getting those alerts are extremely important. Meteorologist Paul Goodlow walks you through some of the steps to safety.
We're not always by our TVs and radios when severe weather strikes, but chances are we do have our mobile phones with us. The emergency alert features found on most smartphones can be a lifesaver during severe weather. Here's how to make sure yours are enabled. On the iPhone, simply go to Settings, click Notifications, and scroll down to the bottom. Make sure the emergency alerts and public safety alerts are toggled to the green on position. For many Android phones, look in your message settings for the word alerts, and you can choose which ones you want to enable from there. Some alerts can be in other locations on Android phones, so just search for the words emergency alerts. Fortunately, these smartphone alerts will work in any town you are in and will warn you of any possible dangerous weather heading your way.
So important you have a way to stay safe. And right now on the edge of a severe thunderstorm warning, meteorologist Mike Seidel. Mike.
Hey, Chris, let's go to the radar right now. We have a whole cluster of dangerous thunderstorms. They're all warned for strong gusty winds, wind damage, and hail up the size of quarters. They're moving northeast, 40 to 50 miles an hour, east-northeast, right into Jackson and where we're standing in Pearl, Flowood, those areas. Starting to rain right now. We'll come back, give you another update from Pearl, and keep you safe throughout the evening with the tornado watches continuing.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good.
Together, we can do this. Our spirit is what unites us. It is what bonds us and reminds us we are all one. Which is why if you need a vehicle during this time, we are offering 0% financing for 84 months with no payments for 90 days. And the ability to shop and buy from the safety of your home. Better days are ahead. And Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram will help you drive forward.
You wouldn't accept an incomplete job from anyone else. So why accept it from your allergy pills? Most pills don't finish the job because they don't relieve nasal congestion. Flonase allergy relief is different. Flonase relieves sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, and a runny nose, plus nasal congestion, which pills don't. Flonase helps block 6 key inflammatory substances. Most pills only block 1, and 6 is greater than 1. Start your day with Flonase for more complete allergy relief. Flonase, this changes everything.
Take your time, build a home, build a place where we all can belong.
Give extra, get extra with Extra Refreshers Gum.
What's going on? Let me help. Lift and push and push. There, it's up there.
Hey, Josh.
Wrinkles send the wrong message. Help prevent them before they start with Downy Wrinkle Guard.
When it comes to longevity, who has the highest percentage of its vehicles still on the road today? Subaru. When it comes to best overall value, who does IntelliChoice rank #1? Subaru. And when it comes to safety, who has more 2020 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winning vehicles? More than Toyota, Honda, and Hyundai combined? Subaru. It's easy to love a car you can trust. It's easy to love a Subaru.
Get 0% APR financing for 63 months on select Subaru models now through April 30th.
It's best we stay apart for a bit, but that doesn't mean you're in this alone. We're automatically refunding our customers a portion of their personal auto premiums. We're also offering flexible payment options for those who have been financially affected by the crisis. We look forward to returning to something that feels a little closer to life as we knew it. But until then, you can see how we're here to help at libertymutual.com/COVID-19.
Your mission: stand up to moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis and take it on with Rinvoq. Rinvoq, a once-daily pill, can dramatically improve symptoms. Rinvoq helps tame pain, stiffness, swelling, and for some, Rinvoq can even significantly reduce RA fatigue. That's Rinvoq relief. With RA, your overactive immune system attacks your joints. Rinvoq regulates it to help stop the attack.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious infections and blood clots, sometimes fatal, have occurred, as have certain cancers, including lymphoma, and tears in the stomach or intestines, and changes in lab results. Your doctor should monitor your blood work. Tell your doctor about any infections, and if you are or may become pregnant while taking Rinvoq.
Ready to take on RA? Talk to your rheumatologist about Rinvoq relief. Rinvoq, make it your mission.
Breaking right now, storms pounding the south from parts of East Texas through Louisiana and crushing portions of Mississippi at the moment, into Alabama and Georgia as well. But we can see right here in the center of the frame here, there in Jackson, Mississippi, severe thunderstorm warning. It is imminent for these strong storms with some strong winds to come through downtown here any moment now. In fact, when you look at the radar, you can see a little bit of a bowing and some very, very dark red in here. So red is heavy rain, but you can see right in there, that last frame showing us where some of the heaviest rain is coming down. Likely some strong winds associated with this. Again, the severe thunderstorm warning does include Jackson, Clinton, Madison, for parts of Hinds and Madison County. Want to take a closer look here. And here's Jackson downtown, and we've highlighted Pearl, Mississippi, because this is where we have the Weather Channel's meteorologist Mike Seidel, who has been tracking these storms all across the south, but in particular here now, Mike, where you are now under a severe thunderstorm warning.
Yes, right here in this part of Jackson, we are under a warning now for about the next hour. Just came out for this side, the east and southeast side here in Pearl. Take a look at the sky. It's very dark, looking off to the west and northwest. That's where the storms are moving, but they're encroaching on our area. And Chris just showed you the radar. And look at that line now moving right through Jackson. These are all warned for straight line wind damage, wind gusts over 60 miles an hour, and also some hail. There's also a fair amount of lightning. I want to show you a lightning bolt we caught about 45 minutes ago. This is another cell that went by to our north. And look at that lightning bolt coming down. And that was about maybe 2 or 3 miles away. That's about as close as the lightning's been so far, but plenty of heavy rain. We've got the flash flood watch. No warnings right now, but again, numerous severe thunderstorm warnings across the Jackson area, back towards Learned, down towards the Utica area, and all the way up towards Edwards and Flora, and then right up 55. So very heavy rain. That bow now coming through Jackson. Just saw a flash of lightning, a little rumble thunder, and over in the distance here, it looks like a little bit of a kind of a shelfie, but we've got a lot of rain coming in and a lot of lightning. We've got our safe place here at the restaurant, so we're okay. But Chris, we're going to stay with you, obviously, for the next several hours. But in the next hour or so, we should have some very stormy weather right where we're standing in Pearl. Again, we're about a 10-minute drive off to the southeast of downtown Jackson. Chris?
And Mike, as you continue to watch either the sky where you are in the horizon or the radar and the atmospheric conditions across the south, what are you most interested to see play out? What are you most curious to see over the next few hours?
Well, certainly the concern is, do we have any of these cells start to rotate and spin up? And the Weather Service here in Jackson has to issue tornado warnings. They were extremely busy last week. And, you know, we had the deaths here in Mississippi, a dozen deaths. We had 15 tornadoes and 2 large ones, the EF4 on the ground for 67 miles. So they had their work cut out for them last week. And they're just about 4 or 5 miles away over in Flowood. And they're working through this. Regardless of the COVID, they're all in the Weather Service office. And as I talked to one of the forecasters yesterday, their desks are pretty far apart, so they're in good shape. But they're obviously watching the radar. We're watching the sky. You can see the wind is now picking up a little bit from the south and southeast. There's Old Glory. So we're getting a little bit more wind. And as I mentioned, these warnings are for wind and hail. But Chris, getting back to your original question, do these storms start to rotate? Let's hope not. Let's try to get through Sunday in Mississippi without any tornadoes on the ground, without any fatalities. We've got enough to worry about these days without having the severe weather threat again this week in Mississippi. Last week was just horrible. And now it's the deadliest year for tornadoes in the United States in the past 8 years. So that kind of puts it in perspective. But the Easter Sunday outbreak was certainly one for the record books. We've had confirmed just over 130 twisters. The difference this time, again, re-emphasizing the fact for some of you, it's better news. Northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, northern Georgia, southern Tennessee, not in the threat that we had last week when we had that deadly tornado up there near Chattanooga, just south of the Georgia-Tennessee line. Chris?
All right, meteorologist Mike Seidel, we'll be checking back with you, too, as these storms approach. And we know that you're watching this and you'll be taking shelter when need be. But we'll be checking back with you here as that threat does remain for several hours for portions of Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and Texas that have already seen storms. So we're not done yet here. Multiple rounds of possibility. And then the threat later on this evening and tonight goes into the rest of Alabama, the rest of Georgia, into the Carolinas. Another live look here as storms are on the horizon from meteorologist Mike Seidel's location in Pearl, Mississippi, which is just a little bit outside of Jackson, Mississippi, under a severe thunderstorm warning right now.
Wow, that's Ensure Max Protein with high protein and 1 gram sugar.
It's a sit-up, banana. Bend at the waist.
I'm trying. Keep it up. You'll get there.
Whoa!
30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar. Ensure Max Protein.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good.
V8 only has 5 grams of sugar. This smoothie has over 3 times as much. So maybe we should call this smoothie Sweetie. V8, the original plant-powered drink. Veg up.
In this world where people are staying at home, many of life's moments are being put on hold. At Carvana, we understand that for some, getting a car just can't wait. That's why the new way to buy and sell a car is also the safer way. At Carvana, you can do it all 100% online from home, with a touchless delivery and pickup process to keep you safe. And for even greater peace of mind, all Carvana cars come with a 7-day return policy. Shop now and get up to 90 days to make your first payment. Check out Carvana, the safer way to buy a car.
So with Dish, you get the Hopper, TV's most powerful DVR.
Oh, this is the one where she makes the decorative fondant out of meringue.
Really, Clint? Whatever your passion, record up to 2,000 hours of it with Dish.
Hi, I'm Lolly, a Domino's franchisee.
As you can see, we're open and working hard to safely keep putting food on people's tables.
And we could use your help doing that.
If getting some full or part-time work during these tough times could help you,
Domino's is hiring.
Head to jobs.domino's.com
and apply today. Because we're not only committed to putting food on people's tables,
we're committed to helping you put food on your table.
For over 75 years, people have saved money with Geico. Sorry.
Here we go from the top and action.
For over 75 years, people have saved money with Gecko.
Cut it.
What did I say? Gecko. I said Gecko. Oh. For over 75 years...
Keep it together.
I'm good. For over 70... What are you doing there? Stop making me laugh.
Geico, saving people money for over 75 years.
Don't look at me.
This is a payday bar. It has a truckload of peanuts and a caramel core that gets the job done. It's 10.5 centimeters of awesome. Unless you get the king size, which is 14.7 centimeters of, oh yeah. Payday. Get to it.
Here's Candace, who works from home and then works from home. But she can handle pickup even when her bladder makes a little drop-off. Because Candace has poise. Poise under pressure and poise in her pants. It takes poise.
Hey, Boston. Hey, Atlanta. Hola, Miami.
Local Now is here for you.
Hi, New York. Hey, LA. Chicago.
To get you through life's new normal.
Hey, America.
Trust me, you're going to love this. Come on.
2 tablespoons of sugar.
But kind of near average all
This is the place to be.
Something for everyone. Local Now. Download for free in your favorite app store.
New video coming into the Weather Channel right now showing some of the damage here. Strong winds caused in Montgomery, Alabama. You can see a tree uprooted right there and coming down onto a home, onto somebody's home there, at least partially. And you can see some of the damage as well that this tree has done to the home. It appears that parts of the roof was damaged in the front of the house. This near Willow Point on Lake Martin, if you're familiar with the area in Montgomery with some of the storms from earlier. And right now, here's where the storms are happening right now. As you see across parts of Alabama, you did have some heavy rain here. See how it's kind of a band, almost like a wave, like a set of heavy rain coming in through Alabama and then into Birmingham. And this one right here just went through Montgomery. But the heaviest of rain happening or developing right after it got through. So when you get one after another here, flooding does remain a concern. Flash flood warnings in effect here across 3 states at this time. But that's likely to change here as we have a severe thunderstorm warning right now that includes Jackson, Mississippi for parts of Hinds and Madison counties. Also includes Madison and Clinton here. We're going to check back with meteorologist Mike Seidel here in a... Actually, we're going to go to Mike right now. He is just outside of Jackson in Pearl, Mississippi. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Chris, back here in that line that you're showing on radar, we can show you that is coming through right now. We're looking off to the west and northwest, and you can see the wind blowing the trees. We're gusting not too much right now, 25, 30 miles an hour. There's the flag. Very heavy rain. Here comes the wind and the sheets of rain here, which is very common when you have a system like this moving in. And the real concern here with this line and a bit of a bow echo would be more straight line winds than a tornado spin up. But remember, we're under a tornado watch here until 7 Central Time. And again, we're going to keep our heads abreast here. There is some lightning, but just look at the rain coming down. My gosh, just sheets and sheets of rain continuing to come down here in the Jackson area. We've got those warnings continuing up for the next half an hour to an hour. So a lot of action continues here in Jackson. Rain, lightning, severe thunderstorm warning again for wind and hail, but that tornado watch, we have a torcon of 7. Look at the wind picking up now with the trees. You can see the sheets of rain in the parking lot. It has gotten very, very dark here. I mean, it's almost like just before sundown, and we're still a few hours from sunset. But this is what we're going to be dealing with for a while because the cell well to our south and west is not going to be here for about another hour. There's some thunder. We're in protected area right now from the lightning. So what we're getting is just a heavy thunderstorm, downpour, lightning. But the wind where we are right now is not especially strong. I'm looking at the tops of the trees across Pearson Street here in Pearl. We're just off I-20. Looks like it may be gusting 25. Maybe we had a gust to 30 miles an hour. More lightning in the area. Just a lot of rain. Sheets of rain coming down here southeast of Jackson. And no doubt you can see that line of storms continuing to head east and northeast at 40 to 50 miles an hour as we get the severe weather. Fortunately, right now, we don't have any tornado warnings, but look at the rain now. It is really coming down. Now, this is your basic severe thunderstorm. Now the wind is picking up here. Now we're getting those gusts as high as maybe 40 miles an hour. This is about the worst of it right now, coming into Pearl, Mississippi. Rain, sheets of rain, the old maskets blowing off the face. What can you do in a situation like this? You just have to take it off. Boy, this is what we've been worried about for the past couple of hours. The rain and the lightning coming in with this cell, and the wind now gusting over 40 miles an hour. But the sheets of rain are just incredible. More like tropical weather. And look how the visibility has come down. It's hard to even see now across the street, Chris, with this severe thunderstorm. And the warnings continue in the area for as much as 45 more minutes. Just take it all in. All the nat sound, the rain, the wind, sheets of rain coming in. This rainfall rate's easily an inch an hour as it continues to blow in from the south and southwest. Once again, tornado watch until 7 o'clock tonight. Well, we're going to pan over here a little bit now off to the southwest towards I-20. Rodney Hall working behind the camera. More lightning flashes in the sky above us here in Pearl. Thunder everywhere. Wind, here comes a pretty good gust of wind through the area, through the parking lot. This has got to be pushing 40 to 45 miles an hour. Look at the trees whipping and the flag over there. And the blinding rainfall here in Pearl, again, southeast, just southeast of Jackson, Mississippi. Thunder and lightning all around us. And the rain coming down in buckets. Lightning bolt over there off I-20, about 3 to 4 miles away. Wow. This is pretty incredible. The good thing, that one was just over there. Again, we're under protection here, near a door here to go into a restaurant. Again, looking at my radar, I haven't seen any tornado warnings yet. Chris, you can follow up back in the studio because we're trying to keep updated. We'll keep you updated. Stay safe out here in Jackson.
Okay, so I'm Magnificent Miles. I thought I was managing my moderate to severe Crohn's disease until I realized something was missing. Me. You okay, sis? My symptoms kept me from being there for my sisters. So I talked to my doctor and learned Humira is for people who still have symptoms of Crohn's disease after trying other medications. And the majority of people on Humira saw significant symptom relief, and many achieved remission in as little as 4 weeks.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Be there for you and them. Ask your doctor about Humira. With Humira, remission is possible.
If you can't afford your medicine, AbbVie may be able to help.
When the present is unpredictable, it's important to stay focused on the future. Personalized, goal-based financial advice can help you navigate today while still staying on track for your long-term financial goals tomorrow. At Ameriprise Financial, that's what we've done for over 125 years, and what our advisors will continue to do for generations to come. Ameriprise Financial.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good.
Life doesn't update you about your credit card, so meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
At Spectrum Business, you can count on us to keep you connected when it matters most, with reliable internet, phone, and TV services. Our network was built to handle the capacity that today's challenges demand. We know these are difficult times for small businesses, and at Spectrum Business, we want to do more. That's why we're providing access to advertising resources, like a free video you can use in social media, on your website, or on TV. And we're providing small businesses opportunities for coverage on our Spectrum News networks. We are also working with SCORE, a nonprofit resource partner of the U.S. Small Business Administration that has mentors and advisors to help you navigate SBA loans, the CARES Act, and other challenges your business may be facing. To learn more about what Spectrum Business is doing and how we can help your small business, visit business.spectrum.com/count on us today.
To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. Wake up watching AMHQ. Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 61 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy, low 49. Winds west-southwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Monday, cloudy skies, high 55. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday night, partly cloudy, low 43. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is Severe Storm Center. You are watching the Weather Channel. I'm meteorologist Chris Warren. We're watching the radar right now. No tornado warnings to tell you about at this time. There is still the risk for tornadoes. There is a severe thunderstorm warning, which is now going east of Jackson, Mississippi. Still within this is meteorologist Mike Seidel. And Mike, you are undercover right now. There's been some lightning around, but we were looking and we were watching you a few moments ago. Again, the fact you were undercover and Rodney's camera is still getting wet. That's a testament, too, isn't it, of some of the winds?
Yeah, I think the winds gusted over 40 miles an hour. We had the very heavy rain, and then we got the kind of the outflow. You can look out here on Pearson. We're just off I-20 in Pearl. We're southeast of the downtown Jackson area, noticing some vehicles coming up the road, and still the thunder just booming around the area. And as cars come up Pearson Road from 20, they're running into some urban flooding with all the heavy rain. I mean, this rainfall rate has probably been about 2 inches an hour. Fortunately, as you can see on the radar, the warning that was for Hinds County, which includes most of Jackson, has now expired. But we still have a warning up for Rankin County, Madison County points east, and that goes for about another 40 minutes or so as these storms race off to the east. But extremely heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning and some wind, but based on what we saw here, the wind was not strong enough to cause any damage. But again, I'm just talking about the observation where I'm standing in Pearl. That doesn't mean that we're not 50 or 60 mile an hour gusts. Usually you get gusts up over 50 to 60, and you start to see some, limbs coming down, some trees uprooted, and maybe some power poles on power lines. But right now we're going to ride it out here in Pearl, Mississippi, Chris, as we keep you updated on the severe threat. And remember, it's not over with yet because we have the tornado watch until 7 p.m. tonight, and there are more storms upstream back in Louisiana. And that sound from the thunder and lightning, that one was just a few miles down the road, crackling here as we continue to stay safe here undercover. But the rain is really coming down, and we do have that flash flood watch here in central Mississippi until 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. The threat will wind down this evening, the severe threat. Tomorrow will be much better, and then we ramp the severe threat back up again Wednesday and Thursday. So, Chris, loud thunder and lightning here, heavy rainfall, but so far, no tornado warnings, and based on what we saw here, the wind's certainly below the threshold where we would have significant straight-line wind damage. Chris will stand by and get back to you as needed.
All right, Mike, anyway, just before we let you go, Mike, just want to make sure you do feel like you are safe. I know you mentioned that. You are undercover, and there's a lot of lightning around. And is there anything, how would you describe for someone who's never been through what you are going through right now and what you've been going through over the past several minutes, how do you put into words what it's like for someone who has not experienced a storm like this in the South?
Well, it's a lot of rain and lightning and thunder, but the lightning is by far the worst of it. We haven't had any spin-ups. There are no tornado warnings. There's some localized flash flooding on the urban areas. But again, it's just a very loud storm, and that's been the worst of it. If this was hitting at 2 or 3 in the morning, it would rock and roll you right out of bed, probably. Although I've talked to people that have actually slept through storms like this, amazingly. But that certainly is the takeaway here. If you have to describe the storm, it's certainly been very, very loud, a lot of lightning, and just very heavy rain, but no tornado, thank goodness, after last Sunday. And at least where we are in Pearl, there's another bolt that came down. At least here in Pearl, the wind has not been enough to even blow down a limb or a leaf. But lightning bolts continue to come down within a couple miles of us here, just southeast of downtown Jackson. We're back here under cover. That's why you're not seeing me in front of the camera. Chris?
All right, meteorologist Mike Seidel, we appreciate it, and we know you are staying safe out there with the storms and a lot of lightning. These storms are going to continue through the rest of this evening into the overnight hours, and Liana, even tomorrow.
Yeah, it does shift a little bit closer to the coast, though, as we get into tomorrow morning. Some places right here in front of you are going to be in the danger zone. Charleston, South Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina. You've already seen some showers, but things will be particularly aggressive, something that Mike Seidel was just experiencing. That scene will be shifted over towards you as we get into tomorrow morning. So we do have that chance for severe thunderstorms likely through tomorrow morning. Again, it's right around 5, 6, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. We have all the right conditions in place. We have some lift that's going to be developing right at these boundaries, and we also have these jet streams that are going to be allowing those damaging winds to get down to the surface. But torcons of 3 are in place, not as high as today, but still a dangerous threat for tomorrow, and it will be picking up by early tomorrow morning. Make sure you have a way to get those alerts.
I'm your mother-in-law, and I like to question your every move. Like this left turn.
It's the next one.
You always drive this slow.
How did you make someone I love?
That must be why you're always so late.
I do not speed, and that's saving me cash with DriveWise.
Yeah, my son, he did say that you were the safe option.
And that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
So get Allstate.
Stop bossing.
Where good drivers save 40% for avoiding mayhem like me. It's my son's favorite color. You should try it. You always drive like an old lady.
You're an old lady.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good.
Everyone seems to have a different opinion on what you should be eating. But the power of plants is one thing we can all agree on. V8, the original plant-powered drink. Veg up.
I appear to be rolling out of control. All this rolling reminds me I have Rolos. Rich chocolate candy and creamy caramel. So delicious.
That's how you Rolo!
Given the current situation, we are all affected by what is going on in America today. And I was asking myself, like, what could I do? I feel proud that, along with my colleagues, I have been called upon to do what we can to help in this situation. I feel like I'm doing it for all the families in America. We're not going anywhere. We're here. This is bigger than all of us. But together, we can get through this.
You may not see them, but your itchy eyes know they're out there. Thousands of allergens in each cubic yard of air. No wonder you rub your eyes hundreds of times a day. But now, relief is just one drop away. Introducing Pataday. Full prescription strength Pataday works right in your eyes, right in the cells that make them itch. Fast. Just one drop once a day means relief that lasts all day. So turn your day into a Pataday. Now get Pataday without a prescription. Everywhere.
All right, let's get going.
You want to make sure to I ordered it for everyone. I think I have the exact amount.
We got the biggest Subaru to help bring our family together.
Just resting my eyes.
Even though we're generations apart.
What a day. I just love those kids.
The 3-row Subaru Ascent. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Get 0% APR financing for 63 months on the 2020 Subaru Ascent and other select models.
Every day, millions of people looking for healthy skin reach for Cetaphil, recommended by dermatologists. Awarded by Allure, and most of all, loved by skin. Cetaphil, the cleanser sensitive skin loves.
This afternoon, more than 34 million people are on alert for dangerous severe storms, with tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail threatening the south. We're timing it out when the most dangerous of the storms will strike right now on the Weather Channel. Good afternoon and welcome to our special extended coverage of severe storms in the south. I'm meteorologist Leanna Brackett alongside meteorologist Chris Warren. Now storms rumbling through this morning throughout the south from Georgia to Texas.
Mom! Wow!
Yeah, wow indeed. This is the sound of one of the threats from today's severe weather in the south. Hail pounding Irving, Texas. There were reports of quarter-sized to even golf ball size hail. That's large. All across the Lone Star State. Here's a closer look at more hail coming down in Texas. Look at this handful. This is in Grand Prairie, Texas. Look how much fell. It's about dime size roughly, and maybe even larger. And Chris, you have a closer look at where these dangerous storms continue to pack that punch, including the possibilities for tornadoes.
And Liana, right now we do have some breaking information to tell you about, and that is a new tornado watch has been issued here. This includes portions of Alabama and is in effect until 11 o'clock. This is Central Time here, as we will continue to watch some of these storms progress and start to develop in more eastern locations. But notice parts of Louisiana and Texas also under a tornado watch, and some of these areas until tonight, until 10 o'clock this evening. So from the Storm Prediction Center, these are the watches that exist right now across Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. That's what we have for now. And remember, tornado watches, you can think of it as watch for warnings. So this means conditions are favorable for the development of tornadoes, and when a tornado is about to happen or is happening, there will be a warning issued by the local National Weather Service office, and we'll let you know about that. And those warnings mean then that you need to take action. This means the action is stay alert, pay attention to the weather, and make sure you have a way to get your warnings. Right now, the warnings that we're dealing with from Texas into Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia are either severe thunderstorm warnings, which are these yellow areas, and if it's flashing, these are new ones. Also a severe thunderstorm warning down here in this part of Texas near Galveston, and then here in central Mississippi into Alabama. And as we're speaking, they are being issued. So things are starting to heat up here across the south. The threat between I-10 and I-20 for flooding is definitely there. It is likely there's going to be some flash flooding. We want to look right here. And this is that severe thunderstorm warning. Now, Mike Seidel is out of this, but we are going to check back with Mike, who is right about in here, just outside of Jackson, Mississippi. We'll get to him in just a bit. I know he is looking at the very latest information at this time, and we'll get to him in a moment. But now we do have a new tornado warning here. Actually, I'm clicking back here. I want to make sure I get that. Sorry, Brandon. I know Brandon's trying to get the very latest, and I'm jumping ahead here. But there is a brand new tornado warning to tell you about right now, and this is in Mississippi. This is right along, goes right up to the Alabama border. This is for Clark County until 4:30 this afternoon. Again, Central Time here. A tornado warning in effect right now. Seeing this storm here again, we're looking at a huge storm that has been developing here along the border with Mississippi and Alabama. This is the rain associated with that storm, and the pattern of the raindrops is one thing that we look at when assessing whether or not there's going to be a tornado. And the other one is the speed of the raindrops and the direction of the raindrops as well. And where we are here in this part of Mississippi, it's hard to see. We're south of Meridian, you can see right here, but there's a little bit of a hook here, a little bit of appendage, but you know what, there's also a little bit of an appendage over here, but it's this one right here that has the tornado warning associated with it. And the velocity wasn't really jumping out at us here, but we are still, again, looking at the possibility this storm is rotating, possibly producing a tornado right now. Again, this tornado warning was issued by the National Weather Service office there in Jackson. This is for northeastern Clark County here. Again, this is in east central Mississippi, and the radar, of course, is showing here the pattern, and there is, this is a radar indicated rotation. So using the tools at the National Weather Service office, the same tools we have here at the Weather Channel, we can assess what's going on and the fact that this storm is likely producing a tornado right now. So a tornado warning currently in effect. It is moving to the east, and you can see the progression, a little bit of a north tilt, but it's generally moving to the east at about 30 miles an hour. So these are fast movers. Severe thunderstorm warning also in effect just to the east of the Mississippi border with Alabama. So these are a few warnings, a few of many warnings that exist right now across the South. Again, here's Jackson, Mississippi. Right here, there's a flash flood warning to the north, several severe thunderstorm warnings, and this is a tornado warning that we're tracking right now. Want to get back here to Texas, where there have been some strong storms, and these storms have been going into Louisiana. Starting now to see a few showers and storms developing south of Alexandria, but right here, this is where there is currently a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect. And you can see this huge mess already showing up here from East Texas to South Carolina. And through this corridor right here, a flooding associated with this very heavy rain is likely for many locations here. You're going to have potentially more than one round of storms with this, depending on where you are. We've already seen rounds of storms here in Louisiana, Mississippi, and in Alabama so far. And it's been here along this warm front. To the north of it, still seeing some heavy rain. You can still see some storms. But south of this warm front is where we have some serious instability. It's air that, if given a little bit of a nudge, it's going to want to go up. There's plenty of warmth and moisture in the atmosphere south of the warm front, where we are expecting to see some of the stronger storms today. And looking right now at where that warm front is, we're seeing a little bit of convergence as well. You can see, too, where that front is based on the temperatures as well. So you can see here some 80s and how quickly you go from even the 60s to the 50s here. So a huge contrast in temperatures, and right along where those winds are converging, coming together, they don't go into the ground, so the winds are going to go up, and that's when we get the clouds, the rain, and the storms, and we're seeing some big ones. Seeing moisture here, looking at the dew points right now, you need around 55-degree dew point for these storms, and the higher you have, the more moisture that's in the atmosphere, and it's the moisture when it goes up. You can think of it as like the fuel for the storms. It helps the air rise, and it kind of fuels the storms too as it releases latent heat, and you can get these huge blow-ups of storms. And it's prime here south of I-20, Liana, with these dew points in the 60s and even in the 70s.
Yeah, we have a live image coming out from our storm tracker, Brett Adair, in just a bit. We'll have that for you in just a moment, Chris. But let's go ahead and show you what we're experiencing. Let's go ahead and forecast it out. Chris was just covering what we have actually going on in the moment. Multiple warnings. There's a tornado warning right at the border of Mississippi heading into Alabama. So again, you need to make sure you have a way to get those alerts as we get into the late evening hours. Many people will be heading to bed. You need to make sure your phone is completely charged because you could lose power in these storms. As we time it out, we're going to see it really start to fill in. In areas that are completely dry, we'll see those storms start to fill in as we have a very ripe environment for these storms to thrive in. 6 p.m. Central Time, it's sweeping down towards the Gulf Coast. I-20 is that main corridor, like Chris mentioned, that we're going to see that chance for flash flooding as well as multiple other threats, including the chances for damaging winds and tornadoes. So Jackson, Montgomery, Tupelo, Atlanta, starting to see that rain start to fill in. Some of these cells, the future radar is already kind of indicating some strong winds associated with that band down towards New Orleans. And then as we get into the late evening hours, closer to midnight, it starts to really wane back behind this main line. So Louisiana, you're kind of in the clear after about midnight. Mississippi getting close to seeing the end of it, but that's just getting started for places even farther east. So we're looking at the Carolinas, starting to see the threat for you, and I'll get into that in just a bit, for you into tomorrow morning. But first, let's go back in towards Mississippi, where at least 14 of the more than 30 people killed in last weekend's deadly tornado outbreak what happened in that one state alone. Meteorologist Mike Seidel is live in Pearl, Mississippi, just outside Jackson, where people face multiple threats today. And Mike, you just went through that main storm and things have finally tapered down. How are things going now?
Well, the rain is still coming down pretty good. The lightning still around the area. Look at the radar, and you can see the worst of us has now moved off to the east. And that's where the warnings are. We're out of the warning here. Still, the lightning is very obviously, that's the most dangerous thing we have right now. But we've gotten through this in the Jackson area without a tornado warning. We are under tornado watch still till 7, but we've had very heavy rain, so that likely some localized, we can see it here, some localized flooding. But how about the rainfall rate? I just looked at the Jackson Airport, and they had 27/100ths of an inch in 3 minutes. So you multiply by that by 20, and you get 5.4 inches, almost 5.5 inches of rain per hour. Now, the disclaimer is that was a 3-minute rate, but it goes to show you how hard it was raining when we were on live here on the Weather Channel. I was saying 2, maybe 3 inches an hour. I even underestimated it. I try to be a little conservative, but 5.4 inches an hour based on a 3-minute rate. We'll see how the airport reports on their METARs, their observations, and see if we can get a better idea of how much it was raining, how hard it was raining over a longer period of time. You can see the rain is really lightened up now. We had wind gusts at the airport to 30 miles an hour. I estimated the winds out here at around 35 to 40 miles an hour, and that's good. I mean, that doesn't knock down tree limbs and power lines, and that keeps the power back on. Of course, lightning strikes can cause problems in their own way, but right now we're looking pretty good. This could very well be the worst of the weather here in the Jackson area in central Mississippi. We look down, we look upstream south and west, and we see a few more storms. But Chris, right now, I'm hoping and I'm thinking that what we just went through is going to be really the meat of the storminess exactly right here, but we still have the issues east. We have tornado watches, and we still have to get through this evening through Alabama and even Georgia, south of Atlanta, with additional watches expected.
Yeah, and then the heavy rain threat, too. Even if we don't get the tornadoes, which we hope we don't, but that threat level is still there. Heavy rain with that lightning, these strong storms will be bringing some very heavy rain. We've already seen that 1 to 2 inch rainfall rates with some of these. And this rain, that much rain, is coming down on areas that have already seen way too much rain so far this year in 2020. Much wetter than average is what we're seeing across portions of the South, from around Jackson north here in Mississippi, in portions of Alabama and Georgia and Tennessee. And some of these areas here are expecting and are seeing some very heavy rain right now. So with that, the rain that's happening, the rain that has happened, and the rain that will happen, leading to what we think is a likely situation for flash flooding here in these areas. And for the most part, if you do not go outside, you should be okay, depending on, of course, where your home is located. But for the most part, most people get into trouble, and the life-threatening situations generally happen when people are in their cars in a flooding situation. Keep that in mind as we go through the rest of today, overnight, and into tomorrow morning, where flash flooding is going to be a likely scenario. And it is either happening or imminent right now, about to happen in these areas. There are flood advisories and flash flood warnings currently in effect in parts of Louisiana, parts of Alabama. So they're already in effect with more rain expected. This is the additional rainfall through tomorrow, and this 2 to 3 inches here, 1 to 2 in the second darkest green here, but this area here, 2 to 3 inches, and it's probably not even take that much, Liana, to see some flash flooding.
I mean, we've seen so much rain this year alone across the southeast. This is insult to injury for sure. Now that threat shifts east as we get into tomorrow morning, Monday morning. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia, both very quiet at the moment because everyone's indoors, as you should be. But we do have that chance for damaging storms, damaging winds, and even a chance for a tornado to spin up. Although the threat for tornadoes, not the number, the Torcon number, not as high as we have it for places east or west of you for today. All right, tomorrow morning we have that likely shot for severe thunderstorms right here smack dab in the red. It does extend up and towards the Outer Banks, but really we're looking at Wilmington to Myrtle Beach to Charleston, even clipping parts of Savannah, that you'll be in that danger zone, and even a little bit farther south as well. We have the right ingredients in place to see these severe storms thrive. We have that lift thanks to this frontal boundary. That's going to help drive those storms a little bit higher and higher in the atmosphere. The larger they are, the more punch that they can add. And then we also have this low-level jet that's allowing these strong damaging winds to drift down to the surface. Now we have a Torcon of 3, like I mentioned, not as high as what we have west of you for today, but it's still not 0. Of course, the higher the number, the greater the impacts as far as the greater chance for you to see a tornado, but still a Torcon of 3. And this is happening Monday morning. So you need to make sure that when you wake up, You have a way to get those alerts, and even make sure you have a way to get the alerts before you go to bed tonight. This is all picking up through 3, 4, 5 a.m. We get that main push really developing 5, 6, 7, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. And unfortunately, some of these will be extra strong, Chris, and they really taper off by early afternoon hours.
And right now, then we get back to a tornado warning in effect right along the Mississippi and Alabama border. Here's Mississippi, here's Alabama, there's the border. Here is the warning for Clark County here in Mississippi. We'll let you know if this does get extended into Alabama. As you can see, the hook portion, the little appendage right there, which is indicating, is an indication of some rotation, the mesocyclone within a severe thunderstorm. So tornado warning. This was observed by a storm tracker when it was in Quitman a little bit earlier. Again, that's in Mississippi. Here's Quitman right there. And we're watching right now the velocity, the winds going in different directions. Right through here, either going toward the radar here in green or going away from the radar, shows you where there's likely the circulation and the likely location for the tornado. Here is the timing for this storm as it continues to move from Mississippi into Alabama.
It's totally normal to have constipation with belly pain, straining, and bloating again and again.
No way.
More exercise, more water, and more fiber is the only way to manage it.
Is it?
Maybe you think it's occasional constipation.
Maybe it's not.
It could be a chronic medical condition called IBS-C, and time to say yes to Linzess. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It helps relieve belly pain and lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements. Do not give Linzess to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Change your thinking to IBS-C. If your constipation and belly pain keeps coming back, tell your doctor and say yes to Linzess.
This is Hal. This is Hal's heart. It's been broken and put back together. This is also Hal's heart and his relief, knowing he's covered by Blue Cross Blue Shield. And this is our promise, with over 80 years of healthcare expertise, to be here for you now and always. This is Medicare from Blue Cross Blue Shield. This is the benefit of Blue.
The fighting spirit is one we all share. That's why Modelo is donating $500,000 to the First Responders First Initiative to support the workers on the front line against COVID-19. For fighting for us, we raise a beer to you. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit.
Hi, I'm Lolly, a Domino's franchisee.
As you can see, we're open and working hard to safely keep putting food on people's tables.
And we could use your help doing that.
If getting some full or part-time work during these tough times could help you,
Domino's is hiring.
Head to jobs.domino's.com
and apply today. Because we're not only committed to putting food on people's tables,
we're committed to helping you put food on your table.
Oh, hello. Did you know that Coffee Mate is triple churn and 2 times richer than milk for one perfect cup of coffee? How do I know so much about Coffee Mate? I've had a cup or 200. Coffee.
A lot has changed in the last few weeks, but one thing hasn't. Breakfast. And if that feels like a little bit of comfort, it's thanks to the farmers, line workers, and truckers, the grocery stockers and cashiers, and the food bank workers. Because right now, breakfast as usual is more essential than ever.
To everyone around the world working so hard to bring breakfast to the table, thank you.
Do you
owe over $10,000 to the IRS? Believe me, you're not alone. Millions of Americans just like you owe back taxes to the IRS. Hi, I'm Ronnie Deutsch. Why continue to let interest and penalties add up when a tax professional can help you with an IRS Fresh Start program, which can resolve many of your tax issues?
Please call 800-605-4505. That is 800-605-4505.
To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. Wake up watching AMHQ. Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 60 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, overcast, low 50. Winds west at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Higher wind gusts possible. Monday, cloudy skies, high 55. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday night, partly cloudy, low 44. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Breaking right now on the Weather Channel, a couple of tornado warnings. So there is now a new tornado warning to tell you about. This one is in Texas. There's a tornado warning right here. That's the new one. And this one right here in Mississippi. Let's go right now and take a look and start with this one right here, which had some pretty obvious rotation a little bit earlier. Still has that appendage associated with it. And I think something else that is indicative of an atmosphere that wants to spin. Now it looks like the rotation may be a little bit broader, but now shifting and moving into Alabama as we look at this particular one here and the timing for this. You can see as it continues to move across the border, the state line with Mississippi and Alabama into Alabama. These are some of the areas where it will eventually get to. Bouncing down here to Texas, northeast of Houston, Liberty County right now. There is a tornado warning that is currently in effect. This tornado warning is in effect until 5 o'clock. This is for central Liberty County. And this storm here is moving east at about 40 miles an hour right now. And again, this storm is on its way east. It'll be near Hardin around 4:30. Severe weather is certainly a possibility, and a tornado is part of that severe weather threat. And the rotation right in here, when you see the bright greens and the reds close to each other, generally speaking, that's where you would expect the tornado to be located. So some of the strongest circulation is. And you notice too is right in here. So winds are coming into the storm like this and then going up through the storm and the updraft. And this is really why the hook is important, is because it shows us the pattern. And looking at the pattern of the storm gives us an idea of what's going on. So you have winds going up and into the storm. So the winds are going up, and you can see how tall the storm is right there. So this is the inflow notch right here. And then once the air comes back down, you have what's called the rear flank downdraft, which will come back down and around. So this is going down, hits the ground, then turns around. And the combination of the two, the winds coming in, the inflow notch, and then going up, and then some of that cold air coming back and around, help create that pattern on the radar. And that also can help create tornadoes, and it can help if the balance is just right with the air going up and the air coming down and around. You can get these tornadoes lasting for quite some time. But right now, again, most likely location is right in here. And that's what we're seeing in Liberty County. Again, this tornado warning is in effect until 5 o'clock here in this part of Texas. Again, we are in Texas right now, northeast of Houston, and within the tornado watch. So the Storm Prediction Center issuing these watches right here that are in effect until either 7 o'clock tonight, 10 or 11 o'clock. and we will not be surprised if more watches are issued for areas farther east. We're just not to that time yet when they would be issued, but we will let you know when that happens, because watches generally will precede warnings. Not always. You can get warnings before watches, but watches means conditions are favorable for the development of this type of weather, tornadoes. Warnings mean that is happening or it's about to happen, Liana.
Yeah, and one of the spots that's smack dab in the middle of this watch is Montgomery, Alabama. You have a tornado threat for as high as a 7 today. Through this afternoon, you also have a flash flood watch in place thanks to the threat for 3 to 5 inches of rain to come out of these storms. And it's already very, very saturated. You can kind of see how green the grass is. We've had a lot of rain so far this year in some parts of the southeast, 2 feet of rain already, and it's still coming down. All right, so as we time out the threats, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, you have seen a major light show. This whole I-20 corridor, that's going to be the main danger zone for the chances for not just the thunderstorm threat. I mean, with tornadoes, winds, you're like, what more can we expect, Liana? Well, flash flooding, that's what we can expect. Let's time it out, starting the clock at 5 p.m. Central Time. We will continue to see these storms becoming extra aggressive as we get closer to dinner time. If you're having a late dinner even, you will still see these thunderstorms just kind of rolling through. 9 p.m. we're still looking at this dangerous threat. Before you head to bed, again, make sure you have a way to get those alerts, because you might need to seek shelter as we get into the wee hours of tomorrow morning. It's really after about 3, 4, 5 a.m. tomorrow morning where things finally taper down. You might see some wraparound showers developing behind it, but the severe threat is done for you in Montgomery and Birmingham. A little bit farther to the south, Mobile, quiet right now, and even in parts of the Florida Panhandle as well, but we will start seeing things getting a little extra frisky over the next couple of hours. We'll see this zone very dry right now, but you will see the showers start to develop and fill in as we get into the late evening hours. We're talking closer to midnight. Notice we have some cells that are working their way just north of Mobile. Burton, you will see some of those dangerous storms, and it's a quick stormy action for you. It's done by about 4 or 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, Chris.
We are far from done right now, Liana, with the severe weather we're tracking right now as well. Severe thunderstorm warnings, flash flood warnings, tornado warnings, all within this area here. This tornado warning right here in Mississippi expected to expire. Meanwhile, here northeast of Houston in this part of Texas, there is an ongoing tornado warning right now in Liberty County. This tornado warning is in effect until 5. You can see the rotation is right in here. So if you are within this area here in central Liberty County, take cover right now. This is where it is going next. Moss Hill, Batson, Saratoga. It's on its way.
I just love hitting the open road and telling people that Liberty Mutual customizes your insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Every day, millions of people looking for healthy skin reach for Cetaphil, recommended by dermatologists, awarded by Allure, and most of all, loved by skin. Cetaphil, the cleanser sensitive skin loves.
Breathe freely fast with Vicks Sinex.
My congestion's gone.
I can breathe again! I can breathe again! Oh.
Vicks Sinex. Breathe on.
There will be parties again soon, and family gatherings. There will be parades, and sporting events, and concerts. To help our communities when they come back together, respond to the 2020 census now. Spend a few minutes online today to impact the next 10 years of healthcare, infrastructure, and education. Go to 2020census.gov and respond today to make America's tomorrow brighter. It's time to shape our future.
We're open and ready to help your small business any way we can. Every ink for small business. And of course, shipping. TheUPSStore.com.
I don't add up the years and I don't count the wrinkles. But what I do count on is Boost High Protein.
And now introducing new Boost Women with key nutrients to help support thyroid, bone, hair, and skin health, all with great taste. New Boost Women, designed just for you.
Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good.
Your mission. Stand up to moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis and take it on with Rinvoq. Rinvoq, a once-daily pill, can dramatically improve symptoms. Rinvoq helps tame pain, stiffness, swelling, and for some, Rinvoq can even significantly reduce RA fatigue. That's Rinvoq relief. With RA, your overactive immune system attacks your joints. Rinvoq regulates it to help stop the attack.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious infections and blood clots, sometimes fatal, have occurred, as have certain cancers, including lymphoma, and tears in the stomach or intestines, and changes in lab results. Your doctor should monitor your blood work. Tell your doctor about any infections, and if you are or may become pregnant while taking Rinvoq.
Ready to take on RA? Talk to your rheumatologist about Rinvoq relief. Rinvoq, make it your mission.
When we founded Tommy John, Tom was obsessed with how to make underwear truly comfortable.
So we reimagined comfort through fabric, fit, and function.
We use soft, breathable, lightweight fabric with stay-put waistbands that never dig and stretch where you need it. We made a women's line so comfortable, there are no visible panty lines and no wedgies, guaranteed.
For a limited time, go to TommyJohn.com right now to get 25% off site-wide. Plus, we'll ship it to your door for free. That's TommyJohn.com. Log on now.
New video coming into the Weather Channel, coming out of Alexander City, Alabama, showing the heavy rain and wind whipping through the area. You can see that wind knocking off the fresh new leaves on these trees and even whipping around our American flag smack dab in the middle of the scene here. Yeah, we've already seen it work its way through other parts of the southeast already, and we still have some time, Chris, to be dealing with these storms. Unfortunately, we have more of this scene expected for places east of here even as we get through today.
Yeah, and going through the rest of today into the evening hours, that threat for severe weather, including tornadoes, damaging winds, large hail, a lot of lightning, and also flash flooding. That is going to exist even into the overnight hours. And just staring at this and looking at where you have just kind of a congealed mess of rain on the radar here, of yellows and reds and greens. There's a little bit up here too, but this bit right here really kind of shows you roughly where the warm front is, and that's been the focus for a lot of the rain and a lot of the storms. And right now, this storm northeast of Houston still has a tornado warning on it until 5 o'clock, and the rotation looks like it's getting a little bit broader. It's not as tight as it was, but still the warning exists here for these areas. And if you live in any of these towns here, Moss Hill, and then going over until Batson, and then you can see even continuing across to 287, take cover right now. And now here in Choctaw County in Alabama. This tornado warning, when it was in Mississippi, had expired. Now it is back here. This tornado warning in effect here in this portion of Alabama for Lisbon and Pennington. And those are two cities. This is just north of Butler, if you're familiar with this area. It's southeast of Meridian, Mississippi, and a closer look right now at this storm. You're seeing some of the bright reds showing up here, and when the reds and the greens are really close to each other, you get an idea of where the winds are going fast right past each other. And in the environment that we have going on right now with storms, that usually means rotation, and that's what's going on right now. Rotation, and we're seeing just a little bit of an appendage as well, timing out this storm to get a general idea of when it is going to arrive where you live. If you are anywhere within this red area, if you see your city on here, whether it's Choctaw City, Pennington, Myrtlewood, Hilltop, take cover right now. Make sure you are in your safe location. And these locations right here in red are under tornado watches issued by the Storm Prediction Center. This means that conditions do remain favorable for the development of tornadoes. Warning means that's happening. A tornado is either about to happen or it is in progress. So watches, meaning that you are in a designated area identified as being favorable. You can still have severe weather and tornadoes outside of these areas. It's just the way Mother Nature works. But given all of the ingredients that come together, this is the most likely areas where conditions are pointing to the development of some tornadoes today. So it is likely we're going to see more severe weather going on and off for several hours now, as that rain has been going on and off. And this is, I think, is my biggest concern right through here for flash flooding in the current time frame, as we've had some warnings here and there's been some advisories, but the rain is still expected to continue. Here's a closer look now at some of the timing. This gives you a general idea of how the atmosphere is going to develop, but you kind of get a sense of what the atmosphere is capable of. So look at the really dark reds in here. This is going to indicate where some of the stronger storms are. And this is 5 o'clock Central Time. Putting this in motion, you see some of the same areas across Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama staying wet for some time. Also, Mississippi, Jackson, not necessarily over yet. Just outside of Jackson, Mississippi, is where we find meteorologist Mike Seidel. Mike.
Hey, Chris, still some light rain, but I want to take you back to about 45 minutes ago, between 3:30 and 4 here in Pearl, just southeast of Jackson, Mississippi, and look at that rain coming down. We had heavy rain. The rainfall rate at one point was about 5 inches an hour. 5 inches an hour. That was a 3-minute rate. We had 27/100ths of an inch. So far, last check, we've had about 3/4 of an inch of rain. So we're not going to get 5 inches of rain, but it shows you with that 3-minute measurement how hard it was raining. Right now, everything has moved off to our east. We still have some rain in the area, still some thunder in the distance. But a lot of lightning, a lot of thunder. We were under a severe thunderstorm warning. But the winds right here were only clocked at about 40 miles an hour. No hail here, and there were no tornado warnings with this cell, thankfully. But we're watching another line back in Louisiana that may get in here in about another hour and a half to 2 hours. Keep in mind the tornado watch here in Jackson and this part of Mississippi is up until 7 p.m. this evening. We'll keep you updated. Stay tuned, more coverage too as those warnings continue to move east into Alabama and Georgia.
You may not see them, but your itchy eyes know they're out there. Thousands of allergens in each cubic yard of air. No wonder you rub your eyes hundreds of times a day. But now, relief is just one drop away. Introducing Pataday. Full prescription strength Pataday works right in your eyes, right on the cells that make them itch. Fast, just one drop once a day means relief that lasts all day. So turn your day into a Pataday. Now get Pataday without a prescription, everywhere.
Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack.
Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep.
Stack Pringles flavors, make new ones!
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good.
Where can a healthier heart lead you? For people with heart failure taking Entresto, it may lead to a world of possibilities. Entresto is a heart failure medicine prescribed by most cardiologists. It was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Heart failure can change the structure of your heart, so it may not work as well. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. And with a healthier heart, there's no telling where life may take you. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto. Novartis thanks the heroic healthcare workers fighting COVID-19.
Hi, Phil Swift here. People everywhere tell me how much they love the Flex Seal family of products.
This stuff is awesome. It really works.
Nothing compares to the original strength of Flex Seal. Flex Seal Liquid, Flex Shot, Flex Tape, Flex Glue, and Flex Paste. Use the Flex Seal family of products to weatherproof and protect virtually everything. Even make quick repairs underwater to help prevent flood damage. seal up large cracks and holes to keep those nasty pests out of your home. All Flex Seal products create a super strong watertight barrier. Patch busted pipes, seal gushing gutters. Now you can coat, patch, seal, and repair. And don't forget about our portable Flex Seal Minis, perfect for quick repairs on the go. Imagine everything you could do with the Flex Seal family of products. Available at these fine retailers.
In this world where people are staying at home, many of life's moments are being put on hold. At Carvana, we understand that for some, getting a car just can't wait. To help, we're giving our customers up to 90 days to make their first payment. Shop online from the comfort of your couch and get your car with touchless delivery to keep you safe. And for even greater peace of mind, all Carvana cars come with a 7-day return policy. So if you need to keep moving, we're here for you. At Carvana, the safer way to buy a car.
New video into the Weather Channel right now showing some of the rain and wind here, big time here in Canton, Texas. Also reports of quarter-sized hail. And the heavy rain and wind like this is a common ongoing deal right now as severe weather is firing and heating up across portions of the South. From East Texas to South Carolina, the rain is coming down right now, and the threat for severe weather also continues for the next several hours, even during the overnight hours tonight. Several warnings here, tornado warning here in portions of eastern Texas, all the way over to some of these flash flood warnings in Alabama, Mississippi, another tornado warning here in Alabama as well. We begin right now with a look at our severe weather and the ongoing threats. This storm is now getting to the back edge. We'll see if this gets extended here at the back edge of this tornado warning. It looks like no, it will not, as that warning just went away, but still a strong storm with lightning, heavy rain, and again, possibly some hail. Flash flood warning here across this portion of East Texas. You've already had some strong storms come through, and this portion of Louisiana as well along Interstate 49 near Natchitoches down to just about to Alexandria, Monroe, Louisiana, under a flash flood warning right now. Heavy rain continuing here. This storm did have a reported tornado on it right there. You can see even a little bit of hook on this radar. And now going over into Alabama from Mississippi, there remains a tornado warning in effect. And here it is for Choctaw County here. And this includes Pennington. It is just north of Butler here in Alabama. And a closer look, probably somewhere in there, is where it is likely spinning. And this is, if it does stay together, you can see it could be getting even to Rembert here within the next 20-25 minutes or so. And now we are looking a little bit farther to the east now into Alabama and into Georgia, where flooding and some strong storms will be ongoing, Liana.
Yeah, and it's kind of good that people are indoors because we don't need people going out in the streets when we're dealing with flash flooding. We've already had some instances of flooding in this home right here in Alexander City, Alabama. The water covering the floors inside the home just kind of breaks your heart, right? I mean, so many impacts. And then as we head outside, you can see evidence of strong winds and rain, leaving this car completely covered. We have severe storm threats continuing in central Alabama through this afternoon into tonight, including the possibility of tornadoes. But I'm going to focus on the flood threats. Again, I mean, we have some major impacts with that flood threat because the soil can't take much more rain. We've already had a lot of rain in this zone across the southeast, 2 feet or more since January 1st. And we're still seeing that threat for more rain arriving with this shot of thunderstorms. So as we take a look, we'll go ahead and time it out. Let's go ahead and show you right now. And really, I-20 corridor is going to be the focal point. So on water vapor, it's a very juicy atmosphere, and it's illustrated by all this green that you're seeing. That's a loft. We're tapping into some very, very moist environments. So all of that is going to just translate to rain here at the surface. And we do have through tomorrow morning the chance for flash flooding right here in the yellow, likely chances extending from central and northern Louisiana all the way through the central parts of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and even clipping out here towards parts of South Carolina. So Macon, Montgomery, Jackson, you're embedded in this zone. We already have flash flood warnings that have popped up, as well as watches right here. You can see a new one has actually just popped up for you just north of Montgomery, but that means you need to avoid flooded roads. Again, many people not out on the roads, which is good, but for people who are, you need to make sure your speed is in check. check because people are just flying on these roads because they're so empty. But Chris, we're expecting 3 to 5 inches of rain on top of a very saturated environment. Not the best news at all.
Not the best news. Not the best news with all the severe weather potential here. And we know the best place to be, of course, is indoors when severe weather is approaching. But as meteorologist Mark Elliott shows us, there are plenty of places in your home that are not as safe.
When you're under a tornado warning or you hear a tornado siren, and especially if you can see that tornado, now is not the time to grab that smartphone and start filming. Instead, it's time to get inside and seek shelter. You run inside to seek shelter from the storm and come up to your bedroom, which normally is pretty safe, until of course a tree crashes through your roof. Coming down to a lower level, great idea. Trying to see where the storm is outside those windows, bad idea. It was a good idea to leave the windows, but this exterior wall doesn't help you as much as you might think. No, tree limbs or 2x4s, they're like toothpicks when winds get as fierce as in these storms. Yes, your garage is on ground level and has 4 sides. No, it isn't going to protect you the way you want it to. So this is where you do want to be. Not only a low level, but the lowest level you've got. And you want to put as many walls between you and the storm as possible. And then you stay here until it's safe. Because this room could be the one thing that saves your life.
And many southern states here under that threat for severe weather. Some states seeing that severe weather right now. You can see just how active it is already, including a tornado warning that is in effect right here in Choctaw, Alabama, the county of Choctaw. Pennington is under this tornado warning. Time now to get to your safe location right now. As we look live now, just south of there in Butler.
How about no?
No.
No way.
Come on, no.
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 Only Discover has no annual fee on any card.
My bladder leak pad? I thought it had to be thick to protect. But new Always Discreet is made differently, with ultra-thin layers that turn liquid to gel and lock it inside. For protection I barely feel. New Always Discreet.
So with Dish, you get the Hopper, TV's most powerful DVR. It holds up to 2,000 hours. It holds all your favorite shows.
Fold in the raspberry cream mixture. Give it a jolly good turn.
Oh, this is the one where she makes the decorative fondant out of meringue.
What it does not hold?
Perfect.
Really, Clint?
It holds no judgment.
Love fondant.
Beautiful.
Whatever your passion, record up to 2,000 hours of it with Dish, tuned in to you.
It's a challenging market. Edward Jones is well aware of that, which is why we're ready to listen and ready to help you find opportunity.
So, let's talk.
Edward Jones, it's time for investing to feel individual.
You wouldn't accept an incomplete job from anyone else. Why accept it from your allergy pills? Flonase Sensimist. Nothing stronger, nothing gentler, nothing lasts longer. Flonase Sensimist. 24-hour non-drowsy allergy relief.
Goodbye, Fred.
Goodbye, Fred.
What if he gets lonely? What if he gets bored?
Oh, hey.
Just in case he gets hungry. What if he gets sad? What if he gets...
Hey. I think it's time we say goodbye.
Okay.
Kohler Revolution 360 with Continuous Clean. Stays clean 5 times longer.
It's okay, Dad.
Only from Kohler.
There will be parties again soon, and family gatherings. There will be parades, and sporting events, and concerts. To help our communities when they come back together, respond to the 2020 census now. Spend a few minutes online today to impact the next 10 years of healthcare, infrastructure, and education. Go to 2020census.gov and respond today to make America's tomorrow brighter. It's time to shape our...
Real people are realizing there's a better way to mobile.
My carrier probably has a lot of fees I don't even know are there. Basic phone line access, federal universal service charge, I don't even know what that is. Why am I paying these fees?
At Spectrum Mobile, there are no added taxes and fees. What you see is what you pay. $45 a line with our unlimited data plan or $14 a gig with our Buy the Gig plan.
The calculator said that we would save $600 a year. We've actually saved $612 in half a year.
With Spectrum Mobile, I'm saving over $350 a year.
$650 a year. It's true. Most customers who switch see a savings of over $600 a year. Don't wait. Find your savings at SpectrumMobile.com or call 844-258-8115. And get it all with free nationwide talk and text and no contracts.
I'm ready to switch.
Get more for less with our unlimited data plan for $45 a line or our Buy the Gig plan for $14 a gig. Plus, get the flexibility to mix and match plans. Visit a Spectrum store. Go to SpectrumMobile.com or call 844-258-8115.
Babbel.com and try for free.
To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. Wake up watching AMHQ. Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 60 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, overcast, low 50. Winds west at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Higher wind gusts possible. Monday, cloudy skies, high 55. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday night, partly cloudy, low 44. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel back in Pearl, Mississippi. Want to explain to you I had to take my mask off with the COVID-19 because it got soaking wet. And I feel pretty safe out here. It's just myself and my photographer Rodney Hall in a big open parking lot. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Didn't want you to think I wasn't playing it safe out here. We are playing it safe now because the storm has moved on. The severe thunderstorms that raked the Jackson area. Look at that. Can you see the sun through the overcast? Boy, that's the heating of the day really kicked off the storms today. Once the warm front came on through, our dew points and temperatures skyrocketed, and kaboom, the storms. Let me show you the video from between 3:30 and 4 here in Pearl. We're on the southeast side of Jackson. A lot of lightning bolts, a lot of crackling thunder, and rainfall. If you calculated the 3-minute rate, was about 5.5 inches in an hour, but it didn't rain that hard for a whole hour, so we ended up with about 3/4 of an inch of rain in the hour, this hour per se. So a lot of rain very quickly. We had some urban flooding out here on Pearson. We're just off I-20, but look at the radar right now. Keep in mind, we're still under a tornado watch in this part of Mississippi until 7 tonight. But back to our west and south, there's more storms coming our way. Some of these have had severe thunderstorm warnings, no tornado warnings, but I think we're going to get at least one more round of some lightning and heavy rainfall before we get out of the woods and clear out the severe threat early this evening. So, Chris, that's the latest here from Pearl. A lot of lightning, a lot of thunder, but no tornadoes and no winds, at least from what I can see in reports, at least in the immediate area, that brought down any trees and power lines. The airport gusted to just 30 miles an hour.
All right, meteorologist Mike Seidel, we appreciate it. And of course, we'll continue to watch and hope that it remains the way it is right now with not a lot of tornado warnings. There is one tornado warning right now. But as we look at the active radar, Mike Seidel just outside of Jackson, Mississippi, there in Pearl, Mississippi. And what he was talking about, you can see some of the action here. In fact, he might get a couple hits here. And this big line back here is working through central Louisiana right now. Big mess here. So Mike is right about here, and you're I might even see a little rain sneaking up here from the south, but more likely this action right here is going to make its way all the way into Jackson. But then you look a little bit farther here across the Mississippi border with Alabama, and for Choctaw County, still a tornado warning in effect right now, and the timing for this does take it into Pennington within a matter of minutes, so you better be in your safe location right now. Again, underground is best. Otherwise, the lowest point in your home, interior portion of your house, put as many walls between you and the outside. As we look now at where we're expecting more severe weather to start to kick into gear here, kick into high gear across central and southern Alabama, central and southern Georgia as well, and then eventually some of these areas during the overnight tonight and into the morning hours as well for parts of South Carolina. And we're even seeing some strong storms and have been in the coastal regions. So tornado watches that have been posted by the Storm Prediction Center in effect till 7, 10, or 11 o'clock certainly is a possibility. And in fact, I would say an expectation that we see more of this throughout the rest of this evening, but areas farther to the east as well. And again, another look at some of that very heavy rain. As a reminder, all sorts of severe weather threats, including the threat for flash flooding, Liana.
And then that threat for severe storms pushes into tomorrow morning, but now it's going to be reaching the coast. Charleston, South Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, you're looking at the chance for some strong to severe storms reaching you by late tonight, early tomorrow morning. We could expect damaging winds, hail, and even that chance, yes, for tornadoes. Take a look at what we're expecting. We do have that severe shot hugging the coast early tomorrow morning. Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Wilmington, even the Outer Banks kind of getting in that danger zone. It's possible for you, but the highest chance is in this deep red color hugging the coast. We have all the right ingredients in place. This boundary is going to provide that lift that those thunderstorms need to get growing in the atmosphere, and that the larger the storm, the more potent it is at the surface. We also have these strong low-level jets, the winds that are going to be mixing down to the surface, bringing in that damaging wind threat. Damaging winds, 60-mile-per-hour winds up to that is definitely possible. So we have torque-ons of 3 in place. Yes, it's not as high as what we've seen today, a little bit farther west of here, but it's still not 0. So that means that you do have a chance for seeing those tornadoes for parts of Savannah, Charleston, Myrtle Beach, and up towards Morehead City. Let's go ahead and time it all out. We're already seeing some showers off and on today. It's not quite severe just yet. We will see that pick up as we get into early tomorrow morning. We're talking about 5, 6, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So right when you're getting up and moving to your living rooms to do your work, or even if you're essential workers, you need to make sure you keep a close eye on the weather. Make sure your phone is charged. It's going to be done after lunchtime.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good.
Hi, I'm Lolly, a Domino's franchisee.
As you can see, we're open and working hard to safely keep putting food on people's tables.
And we could use your help doing that.
If getting some full or part-time work during these tough times could help you,
Domino's is hiring.
Head to jobs.domino's.com
and apply today. Because we're not only committed to putting food on people's tables,
we're committed to helping you put food on your table.
You wouldn't accept an incomplete job from anyone else, so why accept it from your allergy pills? Flonase relieves your worst symptoms, which most pills don't. Get all-in-one allergy relief for 24 hours with Flonase.
Fumbling with full hands is an open invite for bugs. Now, join the 9 million already enjoying Magic Mesh, the hands-free screen door that lets fresh air in while keeping bugs out. Just step right through and it instantly closes behind you. With new and improved magnets that are 30% stronger, yet gentle enough for the tiniest pups. It installs without any tools and is available for every door. Use on single doors, double doors, even garage doors. Magic Mesh, starting as low as $14.99. Order now.
It's Megan!
Every day, millions of people looking for healthy skin reach for Cetaphil, recommended by dermatologists, awarded by Allure, and most of all, loved by skin. Cetaphil, the cleanser sensitive skin loves.
For now, we're all living a new normal.
Businesses are closing. Living rooms are now offices and schools.
And we'll rise.
Our world is suddenly different, but one thing stays the same. State Farm is there. To any of our customers currently facing financial burdens, call your State Farm agent because we're here to help make this new normal feel just a little more normal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We're open and ready to help your small business any way we can. Every ink for small business. And of course, shipping. TheUPSStore.com.
Hey, Boston. Hey, Atlanta. Hola, Miami.
Local Now is here for you.
Hi, New York. Hey, LA. Chicago.
To get you through life's new normal.
Hey, America.
Trust me, you're going to love this. Come on.
2 tablespoons of sugar.
But kind of near average on.
This is the place to be.
Something for everyone. Local Now. Download for free in your favorite app store.
New video into the Weather Channel coming out of West Columbia, Texas. Look at those ominous skies. Very dark clouds, a little bit of rain, but it looks like all the action is out in the distance where those darkest points in the cloud cover. That's where all that action is. We've already had some tornado warnings popping up in Texas and spreading, and some even picking up across parts of Louisiana and even Alabama. So it's been active so far today. Another new video, this from storm trackers near Mississippi, showing heavy rain. Pachuta. This is what we're looking at. You can see the rain just drifting across the windshields here. I don't see the windshield wipers really going, but you can see how wet the roads are. Now, the threat for flash flooding is also with us. So we're going to be tracking not just the threat for tornadoes, damaging winds, hail, and of course, numerous shots of lightning and thunder, but it's also the flash flood threat. You notice how quiet the roads are, which is actually a good thing, especially since that means fewer people will be driving through flooded roadways, which you should never do anyways. Turn around, don't drown. Always a good rule of thumb. But let's go ahead and get you the latest on what's happening out there right now with Chris.
Things heating up right now across parts of Louisiana in terms of the number of warnings that we're seeing right now. They are stretching from Alabama into Mississippi into Louisiana. We've seen quite a few as well in Texas, some in Georgia. But right now, a big area here in Louisiana into Mississippi over to Alabama. Some areas that had storms this morning, seeing them again. Some areas that had storms just a couple hours ago, seeing them again. But it's this new tornado warning right here that is catching our eye in Leesville, near Leesville here in Vernon Parish here in Louisiana in the west central portion of the state. And this whole line here is associated with severe weather, severe thunderstorm warnings in effect here. But a little bit of a kink right in there, right there. You saw just that little bit of a kink is where that rotation likely is. We're getting really close to the radar. And the thing is with the radar, being too close to the radar can make it difficult to get an accurate detection here, and being too far away from the radar can be a little difficult. If you're too far away, the beam can hit it too high in the storm to miss some of the rotation down below. But in this case, when we try to look at the dual pole action of this, try to determine what's going on a little bit higher up in the storm, it's a little bit more difficult being closer to the radar itself. But as we see the timing, the storm is moving off to the east at 55 miles an hour. This is another tornado warning in Choctaw here in Alabama, just across the border of Mississippi, the border with Mississippi and Alabama here. And now, again, we were just looking at this storm crossed over, and now here comes another line of storms that's working through and another string of severe thunderstorm warnings. And this appears that will be changed over to a severe thunderstorm warning. We'll let you know if that changes here. Here's Meridian, Mississippi. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for parts of Clark, Jasper, and Lauderdale counties. And now looking over to where I think it's probably just a matter of time now before we see some more warnings in this part of Alabama and this part of Georgia, and can't rule out portions of Florida also seeing some of the stronger storms. As far as that tornado threat goes, conditions remain favorable for the development of tornadoes here, where there's tornado watches currently in effect across portions of East Texas. Almost the entire state of Louisiana. The Arklatex, Shreveport, Bossier City out of the watch right now. Still the chance for some storms, though. New Orleans not in the watch, either in the southern portion of Mississippi, coastal areas, and going into coastal areas of Alabama as well, not in the watch. But everywhere else, just about in the watch in these states, with some heavy rain falling and coming down associated with these storms. And you can see the overall progression of this is to go from west to east. So it's going from left to right here. And as it does, we're seeing heavy rain going over some of the same locations. That is why we are concerned and think that flash flooding is going to happen. That's one of many concerns, frankly, that we're dealing with. And it's right along this front here. Fronts are often the focus for rising air. That's the case here, and it's that rising air, that's moist and humid air going up into the atmosphere that gives us these big clouds, it gives us the rain and the storms. Now, when you have a very unstable atmosphere as we do, this is when you can get some of this air that just goes shooting up into the atmosphere, and we can get some of the very strong, if not violent, storms out of this as well. And you can really make out where the warmer air is located, upper 70s and 80s, and then there's the 60s and even some 50s to the north. So the difference here is quite a bit. From New Orleans to Atlanta, we're talking, what, 30 degrees here. So seeing some big temperature differences here, but it's going to be these areas right in here that have the best chance for some of the worst weather. In fact, what is going on here too is this is the visible satellite showing us where the clouds are using the visible satellite. We're getting to the point where the sun's getting a little bit lower on the western horizon, so we're able to see some of these features a little bit better. You can see like right here, that's a really tall, Brandon's taking everything off so we can show it here. You can see the overshooting tops, this unstable atmosphere. You think of it as putting holding a basketball underwater and letting it go, and it just shoots up to the atmosphere. An unstable atmosphere is just that much more acceleration going up. And you get the stable layer, it'll shoot up. You think of that like the top of the pool, and that shoots up before it settles down. And you can see some of these overshooting tops, some of that texture associated with some of, like right in here. This one right here, Brandon, is very impressive because it's getting lower on the horizon the sun is. We're seeing now the shadow of the cloud on itself. So that's all to say, Liana, we have a lot of vertical development, which leads to some of these big storms, supercells, and possibly tornadic.
Yeah, it's going to be a long evening because we're going to see all of that progress across the southeast. And overall, we're going to be seeing it drift over some locations that are right now pretty dry. So taking you to a live view of Monroe, Louisiana, looking pretty dismal, gray clouds, gray sky right there. But it just kind of shows you that this is a very potent patch of stormy action that's going to be drifting across the region. So Chris was kind of diving deeper into this whole scene right here, multiple warnings developing. But let's go ahead and see how this overall production continues to move east. So 6 p.m. Central Time, that's where we're starting the clock at. We're looking at starting to see parts of I-20 starting to get inundated with those showers and storms, even parts of the Gulf Coast already. Things will start to progress and start to fill in on some of these drier areas as we get into late tonight. So again, before you go to bed, if you're going to bed pretty early, make sure you have your phone completely charged, even have your portable charger out as well, just in case you lose power. These storms are going to be bringing in damaging winds, the chance for flash flooding, and again, that tornado threat. Some of these cells will be extra feisty. Really, after about midnight, it's a sharp cutoff, basically in Louisiana westward and even parts of middle of Mississippi there. You're going to be kind of drying out, but it's really into early tomorrow morning where we're going to be keeping a close eye on the Carolinas, the coast. I'll be having more. I'll discuss that in just a bit with a closer look at what you can expect for your Monday morning. Let's focus in on Mississippi. That's where at least 14 of the more than 30 people killed in last weekend's deadly tornado outbreak was found. Now, meteorologist Mike Seidel is live in Pearl, Mississippi, just outside of Jackson, where we're facing multiple threats. And you've already seen some threats. I mean, it's crazy how fast this is an ever-changing pattern, Mike, that we've been seeing this afternoon.
Yes, we had those storms about an hour or so ago, just torrential rainfall, lightning bolts all over the place. We had our safe place, thunder crackling, but no tornado warning, and the wind gust at the airport peaked at 30. Right here, we maybe gusted to 40. There's one of the lightning bolts. This is the precursor to that line of severe storms that came through central Mississippi between about 3:30 and 4 right here in the Jackson area. We're in Pearl, just about a 10-minute drive southeast of downtown Jackson. Now let me show you what we dealt with here. Look at the rain and the wind, and listen to the thunder in the background. I mean, this was not rumbles of thunder. This is the thunder that really knocks you out of bed in the middle of the night. Fortunately, it was the middle of the afternoon. And by the time a lot of us go to bed tonight, the severe threat will be over with and everything will move out of the way. Speaking of that, the batch of storms that hit us here has now moved east, but I want you to look upstream. We have a tornado watch till 7 in this part of Mississippi and a torcon of 7. So look upstream. That means to the south and west. Look at all those storms back in Louisiana. They're coming our way at about 40 or so miles an hour, depending on what cell you're monitoring. These storms have severe thunderstorm warnings, some of those for wind gusts to 70 miles an hour and some quarter-sized hail. 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts will knock down trees and take out power. So we're going to follow those. It's going to be about another hour based on the movement before the first storm that's warned gets into the metro Jackson, Mississippi area here on I-20 and the intersection of 20 and I-59. So another hour or so, that puts us at about 6 o'clock local time, and we'll see what happens after that. But don't let your guard down. We may not get tornado warnings, but we have that threat for straight line wind damage. The lightning is going to be, again, vicious. Look at all the lightning bolts out there and more blinding rainfall here in Jackson, Mississippi. So, Chris, a lot more rain than we had last week here in Jackson. Remember, last week the tornado threat was up along the warm front to the north, and then we had those 2 monster tornadoes to our south. So today we get a lot more severe weather as far as the warnings, the heavy rain, lightning. But again, we're much better off so far in the state of Mississippi. Last week we had 15 confirmed tornadoes.
Yeah, but the threat still isn't over, we know, and let's hope it's nothing like last week, which, of course, it's tough to do when it was that significant of what we saw last weekend, 1 week ago today on Easter. But one of the big threats going forward, in addition to tornadoes, in addition to the frequent lightning, like we saw with Mike earlier, if you're watching us live here, and the winds associated with these storms is a big one, but just the rain itself could lead to life-threatening situations. Flash flooding, especially if you are out on the roads in your car and the setup is there. There's been a lot of rain so far across portions of the South this year in 2020, the past few months. It has been much wetter than average. That is important because it just basically means you're not going to need a lot of rain to get to that flash flooding point. And these areas right here in yellow, huge areas. Most of the state of Alabama is in the likely category, at least the entire central portion of the state is in the likely situation to see flash flooding. Same story going into Georgia, south of Atlanta, but wouldn't rule out some urban flooding as well in the Atlanta area over to Jackson, Mississippi, where Mike Seidel is, and into portions of north central Louisiana as well. But it's possible anywhere the storms fire up, you get some of these storms, especially one after another, that drop a lot of rain, and we can see some of that flooding happen in a flash, as the name implies, the flash flooding. The bright green here, the flash flood warnings that are currently in effect and likely to be in effect for quite some time as the rain continues to fall down and will do so potentially on and off for several hours in some of these areas. And for Jackson, maybe another inch or so. But if this comes down extremely fast, and it's possible you could still get more than that, especially when you look at what's just to the west of you. And then here in Birmingham, another 1 to 2 inches, maybe up around 3 inches. Again, that's in addition to the heavy rain and the storms from this morning. Atlanta, the north side of town, the northern suburbs, around an inch. South side of town, more 2 to 3, but can't rule out some of that yellow, which would be that 3 to 5 inch range. So flash flooding, big concern going into tonight. Liana.
And then all of that threat shifts towards the coast. Now we're looking at Myrtle Beach in South Carolina and Savannah, Georgia. You can be seeing these damaging storms head your way. We've already seen some rain, but we're talking about the chances for damaging winds, hail, and even tornadoes picking up for tomorrow. Now, overall, the tornado threat down a bit from what we can expect today. all right? But you still have a tornado threat, all right? And look at that sky out there in Myrtle Beach. Very impressive. Already seeing the rain pick up, like I mentioned, but it's not the severe stuff. That comes in early tomorrow morning. We do have that chance for severe storms right here in the red. Deep red is a likely shot for Charleston, Myrtle Beach, and Wilmington. Even extending out towards it, we have a possible chance in that perimeter. Outer Banks down towards Savannah and even a good chunk of central and southern Georgia. We have all the right ingredients in place thanks to these little pressure systems that settle in, that brought in all the severe storms just to the west of there. That's going to be settling in, providing that lift for these thunderstorms to grow. And of course, the bigger the thunderstorm, the bigger the impacts at the surface. We also have these strong low-level jet winds that are going to be mixing down to the surface, bringing in that damaging wind threat. We're talking 60+ mile-per-hour winds possible. That Torcon threat, I mentioned, it's a little bit on the lower side, especially from what we're experiencing. We have 7s in place across parts of the south where it's west of here. But tomorrow morning, it's not 0. And that's the big takeaway. You still have a tornado threat. Make sure you have a way to get those warnings, especially since they're going to be coming in the wee hours of tomorrow morning, Monday morning, and continuing through much of the day, at least your midday. By your lunch hour, it's going to be kind of done. All right, 7 a.m., this is when we're looking at that sweeping threat of storms. Models are already picking up on some of them becoming particularly aggressive. Notice that little pocket of white down there? That's indicating a very strong cell that radar, that the future radar is already picking up on. So heads up, make sure you have a way to get those alerts. Make sure your phone is off on vibrate, not on vibrate, and your phone is charged. So by about lunch hour, it's offshore. Hatteras, Outer Banks, you could still see some lingering showers, but come early afternoon hours, we're kind of behind it, seeing some lingering showers that are not severe. And quick look, Chris, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Like I mentioned, the biggest threat for thunderstorms is really through the early morning hours.
And it's picking up right now across parts of Louisiana and Alabama, and of course Mississippi still in for some very heavy rain, and the threat for more tornadoes does exist still for you in Mississippi as well. A closer look right now where a new tornado warning associated with this same storm, a huge line of very heavy rain and likely some damaging winds associated with this. But there's one part right in here of this line that has a little bit of a kink to it, almost looks like a fist curling up right there. And this is likely where the tornado is located. Still radar indicated, but we're watching this storm as it's moving east at 55 miles an hour. This one right here going across the border with Mississippi and Alabama. Severe thunderstorm warning there and a tornado warning as well. And still watching you, Georgia and the rest of Alabama.
Okay, everyone, our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting Ensure with 9 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, and nutrients to support immune health.
You may not see them, but your itchy eyes know they're out there. Thousands of allergens in each cubic yard of air. No wonder you rub your eyes hundreds of times a day. But now, relief is just one drop away. Introducing Pataday. Full prescription strength Pataday works right in your eyes, right in the cells that make them itch. Fast. Just one drop once a day means relief that lasts all day. So turn your day into a Pataday. Now get Pataday without a prescription. Everywhere.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good.
Together, we can do this. Our spirit is what unites us. It is what bonds us and reminds us we are all one. Which is why if you need a vehicle during this time, we are offering 0% financing for 84 months with no payments for 90 days. And the ability to shop and buy from the safety of your home. Better days are ahead. And Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram will help you drive forward.
At Marco's, get unlimited medium one-topping pizzas for just $6.99 each. Get the ultimate comfort food, cooked at over 450 degrees, with the comfort of knowing it's served contact-free. Order at marcos.com for contact-free delivery or carryout.
I suffered with psoriasis for so long.
I felt gross. People were afraid I was contagious.
I was covered from head to toe. I was afraid to show my skin.
After I started Cosentyx, I wasn't covered anymore.
4 years clear.
5 years now.
I just look and feel better.
See me.
Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentyx. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms. If your inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to, serious allergic reactions may occur.
5 years is just crazy.
See me.
Ask your dermatologist about Cosentyx.
There will be parties again soon, and family gatherings. There will be parades, and sporting events, and concerts. To help our communities when they come back together, respond to the 2020 census now. Spend a few minutes online today to impact the next 10 years of healthcare, infrastructure, and education. Go to 2020census.gov and respond today to make America's tomorrow brighter. It's time to shift.
I found a way to relieve my constipation that's both gentle and fast. Delcolax liquid works naturally with the water in my body to provide gentle relief in as little as 30 minutes. Stimulant-free Delcolax liquid puts you comfortably in control.
It's a familiar story. Allergies ruining your sleep and next day too. Taking Zysol at night relieves allergies while you sleep, so you wake refreshed. Plus, it works faster than Claritin and on first dose provides the same relief as Zyrtec at nearly half the size. Be wise all, take Zysol at night.
Are you a victim of mesothelioma? If so, call the number.
Free book. Do they really think anybody cares about that? There are so many mesothelioma firms, but we need a serious one. None of these gimmicks.
I understand, honey, but I don't know who we can trust.
Thousands of families have gone through the same difficult decision. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, you should be focusing on your medical treatment. I urge you to call the New York law firm of Whites and Luxembourg.
Call 1-800-311-6200 today to learn more.
Go to mesobook.com.
To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. Wake up watching AMHQ. Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 59 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy, low 50. Winds west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, overcast, high 55. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday night, partly cloudy skies, low 44. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Warnings right now, flash floods, severe thunderstorm, and tornado warnings currently in effect. This one right here, an active tornado warning here in Louisiana for parts of Rapides and Vernon parishes here until 5:45. You can see as we watch, look at Leesville. And as this storm, you can see a little notch in it, just as it was going through Leesville, and getting reports of some trees down and a roof blown off right there in Leesville as this storm worked right through. Whole line of storms, so it could be damaging winds or tornado that caused this damage. However, if it was a tornado, this would kind of go along with where the most likely position of a tornado would be. Again, here is the tornado warning, and you don't see this all that often. Here's the radar, sends out a signal detecting the raindrops here, and that if that tornado is still going, it's going, it looks like, right over the radar here. So hopefully it has loosened up a little bit. Hopefully it's not still together. That would be bad news on a day like this for a radar to take a direct hit from a tornado. But again, damage has been reported here in Leesville associated with this storm that is coming through, which still does have a tornado warning associated with it. Still a tornado warned storm, and this whole storm itself is moving to the east at 55 miles an hour. And here is a look now at some of the areas that eventually will be in line for this storm. Again, you can see many locations here if the storm does hold together, going through south of Alexandria, Louisiana. Now into Mississippi, this storm has the potential to produce some damaging winds as well over 50-mile-an-hour winds. And with that, here is another severe thunderstorm warning associated with what it looks like it's starting to bow out a little bit. You'll hear us say that when the radar has kind of that bow look to it. It's usually associated with some strong and damaging winds, and seeing the flash flood warning existing right here in this part of Alabama and more heavy rain falling in Georgia. These areas too could still see severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings going into tonight, Liana.
And it looks like Montgomery getting that main push of rain too. Ooh, look at that. Very dark cloud down in the distance there. Still currently dry at this particular camera shot right here. But yeah, you know what's happening underneath out in the distance there. We do have that tornado threat for us. We have a torque-on of 7 for you. The higher the number, the bigger the threat. We also have a flash flood watch for about 3 to 5 inches of rain expected for parts of Montgomery and other parts of Birmingham as well. So we have this main push. This is what we're looking at in that camera view. I mean, look at how much lightning is picking up. So we must be looking north in that camera view, because look how dark and how much rain is expected to be picking up. All right, as we time out the rest of this afternoon and evening, we're going to see that threat for storms pick up. It's really going to be about before midnight. That's where we're going to have that biggest threat. So make sure you have a plan in place. Make sure your phone is all charged up just in case you lose power. After midnight, we still have a few pesky showers and storms that are going to be picking up, but it's really going to drop off completely, and you have some residual lingering showers, but nothing quite as severe as what we'll be seeing in the next few hours. A little bit farther south, Mobile, you'll actually kind of get clipped with some storms, but the biggest threats will be way to the north of you, right along this stretch of I-20. That's where we have that tornado watch in place. Mobile, you are not in a tornado watch. As we time out the threat, you will be seeing some scattered showers up towards Greenville, though. That's where you have that biggest threat of seeing those periodic showers, the threat for flash flooding, because notice all that action stays in that same zone, training over the same locations over and over again, and that means that we do have that possibility for flash flooding. So once we get into early tomorrow morning, 3, 4, 5 a.m. tomorrow, then we're in the clear. Atlanta, we will be seeing those showers develop into the next couple of hours, Chris. Again, some of them will be packing in the wind threat, as well as that chance for a tornado a little bit farther to the southwest of here.
And we still have an elevated chance for tornado. Jackson, Mississippi, Montgomery, Alabama, a 7 out of 10 in Savannah. So it's important to make sure you have a good, reliable way to get the emergency alerts on your phone. Could be the only thing that stands between you and serious injury when severe weather threatens. And meteorologist Paul Goodlow shows us some of the steps you can take to stay safe.
We're not always by our TVs and radios when severe weather strikes, but chances are we do have our mobile phones with us. The emergency alert features found on most smartphones can be a lifesaver during severe weather. Here's how to make sure yours are enabled. On the iPhone, simply go to Settings, click Notifications, and scroll down to the bottom. Make sure the emergency alerts and public safety alerts are toggled to the green on position. For many Android phones, look in your message settings for the word Alerts, and you can choose which ones you want to enable from there. Some alerts can be in other locations on Android phones, so just search for the words Emergency Alerts. Fortunately, these smartphone alerts will work in any town you are in and will warn you of any possible dangerous weather heading your way.
Okay, back here in Pearl, Mississippi, the sky's darkening once again, more rain moving in, but look at the radar. We already got raked by one line of severe thunderstorms. Look back to the south and west. More storms warned for gusty winds, wind damage, and hail back in Louisiana, now crossing the mighty Mississippi. They're all heading in this direction into central Mississippi in the next couple of hours. We'll update you next and the latest on the tornado watches. Stay with us.
You wouldn't accept an incomplete job from anyone else. Why accept it from your allergy pills? Flonase Sensimist. Nothing stronger, nothing gentler, nothing lasts longer. Flonase Sensimist. 24-hour non-drowsy allergy relief.
At Philadelphia, we makes the perfect schmear of cream cheese. The recipe we invented over 145 years ago, and me, the world's best, and possibly only, schmelier. Philadelphia, schmear perfection.
You want a fresh-smelling home, but some air fresheners use heavy, overwhelming scents. Try Febreze One, a range of innovative air fresheners with no heavy perfumes that you can feel good about using in your home to deliver a light, natural-smelling freshness. Febreze One neutralizes stale, stuffy odors and releases a subtle hint of fragrance, like bamboo or lavender and eucalyptus. To eliminate odors with no heavy perfumes, try Febreze One. Brand power helping you buy better.
Service isn't just a department. It's a voice on the other end of the phone.
A note to say you're on our mind. A willingness to come to you.
The world and how we interact with each other is changing, but that will never change who we are at Lexus.
Now, more than ever, you and your needs come first.
Find out what service options are available in your area at lexus.com/people first.
Most comfortable bras on the planet. Meet your new BFF. Our bras without metal underwires still provide all the support you need with added comfort. No pinching, just reliable, comfortable support. A friend never stab you in the back, should shoulder your burdens and let you breathe. Take advantage of free shipping and returns. Add a new BFF to your support group and get 20% off with this code. Tommy John Bras, your new friends with better fits.
Hi, Phil Swift here for Flex Paste, the incredible rubberized paste. Right out of the tub, Flex Paste is super thick. It clings to the surface and it instantly fills gaps and holes. And once Flex Paste dries, it turns into a strong, flexible rubber. This thick rubber coating is perfect for sealing leaks in RVs and campers. We're stopping insects and rodents from entering your home. Flex Paste Advanced Formula won't dissolve or wash away. And it even works underwater. So you can apply Flex Paste underwater and it even dries underwater. Floods can destroy your home. Push Flex Paste deep into wet surfaces to help prevent flood damage. Get Flex Paste and the Flex Seal family of products at flexsealproducts.com.
We're open and ready to help your small business any way we can. Every ink for small business. And of course, shipping. TheUPSStore.com.
Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack. Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep. Stack Pringles flavors, make new ones!
You can almost feel it, right? This scene out of Alexander City, Alabama, showing the heavy rain and wind. That wind is knocking down all that fresh leaves that have just been building up in our towns across the southeast, and they're coming down with that strong wind. You can barely make out what's out in the distance because of all that pounding rain as well. This has been the scene that we've been tracking all afternoon long, and it will continue to be this way as the threat for more severe storms trucks even farther east of Alabama and even hits parts of the Carolina coastline. So, Chris, let's go ahead and get the latest with you. I know we have numerous severe storm warnings as well as tornado warnings popping up.
You have severe thunderstorm warnings right now across 5 states in the south, from Texas to Georgia and in between, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama right now. And there are also some flash flood warnings. So big concerns here. A closer look right now at this particular severe thunderstorm warning where there was a tornado warning associated with this. And just look right here. I'll try to keep up with this. It looks like a little appendage right there going right by the radar. That's what I think caused the damage there, at least that line, whether it was straight line winds or a tornado that came through Leesville. Did produce some damage, some trees down and a roof blown off. Initial reports here out of, out of Leesville at the time. So you can see, again, that little appendage that we were looking at right there. sort of fallen apart once it got past the radar site there. We can go ahead and do a volume scan. So what's going on here? The radar, it sends out a signal and it gets a return. It hits a target, a hailstone or raindrops. That signal comes back and it scans across the sky, but it also will scan up as well. But it can only go up so high, it has different tilts to it. And you can see where the data is missing. It's almost like someone whacked off a side of it. I can tell you there's likely storm there. There's likely a storm here, but the radar, it came so close to the radar that it's just missing it. It's just a little too close to get that scan. But you get the overall volume, if you will, of the storm, and you get an idea that there's a big storm coming into Alexandria right now. And Meridian, Mississippi, seeing some of the strong storms here that are now moving here into Alabama. The Demopolis as well is about to get hit by this line right here. Likely a damaging wind threat out of this. Now near Valdosta here in south central Georgia, a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. We said it was just a matter of time, and here we go. More severe thunderstorm warnings now here in Georgia, but these are the areas that are initially, this could expand. Would be surprised if it didn't, so expecting it to expand a little bit farther to the east here, but the tornado watches here from East Texas through Alabama through this evening. Conditions do remain favorable for the development of tornadoes, and after last weekend's deadly tornado outbreak across the South, you can bet people across Mississippi that are still dealing with the aftermath are now dealing with the potential of some more damage. Meteorologist Mike Seidel joins us live now from Pearl, Mississippi, which is just outside of Jackson. Here you go, Mike's got another round heading your way.
Yes, and we had to take the mask off. Feel pretty safe out here. Wide open parking lot. The mask gets wet, and it's just not feasible. So you understand, we're being as safe as we can out here, of course, in this situation. Not only that, but with the lightning, we had to take cover about an hour or so ago. Plenty of lightning, and listen to the thunder. There were lightning bolts all around us. It would have been one of those storms, 2, 3 in the morning, you're trying to sleep. Kaboom, kaboom. You put your head under the pillow, 2 pillows, and you still can't get back to sleep. That's the kind of storm we had. We had severe thunderstorm warnings. Did get one report of a tree down on a power line here in nearby Rankin County, where we are. No reports from Hinds County, which includes a lot of Jackson, Mississippi. But only one tornado confirmed, or one tornado reported. It was about 30 seconds on the ground east of here in Clark County. Compare that to last week when we ended up with 15 tornadoes, and one of those was a strong EF4. So a much better Sunday at this point than Easter Sunday. Let's take a look at the radar real quick. All the storms to our west and south now moving towards Jackson. Biggest threat, wind, straight line wind damage, some hail, and plenty of lightning. Liana, the tornado watch here in this part of Mississippi is up until 7 p.m. this evening. So we're going to be right out here keeping you safe.
All right, and you stay safe as well. Mike Seidel live there in Pearl, Mississippi. And we want to go now to some live images of Meridian, Mississippi. This is where Brett Adair, our storm tracker, is tracking these storms. Looks like it's a choppy connection, but what you do see is how dark the sky is when you can kind of make it out amidst those trees.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good.
I know people love the dish remote. It's great. So why build in the Google Assistant? I mean, who really needs a TV remote that can turn the thermostat up,
change temperature to 72,
the lights down,
dim the lights,
and still access their DVR?
play Rio?
Actually, some people could absolutely use a remote like that.
The new Dish Voice Remote. Dish, tuned in to you.
It's best we stay apart for a bit, but you're not alone. We're automatically refunding our customers a portion of their personal auto premiums. Learn more at libertymutual.com/COVID-19.
Every day, millions of people looking for healthy skin reach for Cetaphil, recommended by dermatologists, awarded by Allure, and most of all, loved by skin. Cetaphil, the cleanser sensitive skin loves.
I don't add up the years, and I don't count the wrinkles. But what I do count on is Boost High Protein.
And now introducing new Boost Women with key nutrients to help support thyroid, bone, hair, and skin health, all with great taste. New Boost Women, designed just for you.
Yeah. All straight, we ain't stopping, believe me. Go straight till the morning, no lie, we won't wait. And we're taking everything we wanted, we can do it. All straight.
Oh, shit.
When we first opened our doors, it didn't take us long to realize
We weren't in the car business.
At Lexus, we were in the people business.
We needed to be helpful
respectful
and compassionate.
To treat people like guests.
It's what we all signed up for.
And now when people need this most, we will do what we've always done.
Take care of people first.
the rest will follow.
According to her family, she spends too much time on the internet. According to the census, you can complete the census online in no time at all. Shape your future. Start here. Complete the census at 2020census.gov.
In this world where people are staying at home, many of life's moments are being put on hold. At Carvana, we understand that for some, getting a car just can't wait. That's why the new way to buy and sell a car is also the safer way. At Carvana, you can do it all 100% online from home, with a touchless delivery and pickup process to keep you safe. And for even greater peace of mind, all Carvana cars come with a 7-day return policy. Shop now and get up to 90 days to make your first payment. Check out Carvana, the safer way to buy a car.
This is Severe Storm Center. You're watching the Weather Channel. We are watching the feed coming in from Charles Peak here in Uniontown, Alabama. This is south of Tuscaloosa here in Alabama, where we are expecting the arrival of more storms, more heavy rain. The rain is coming down at a pretty decent clip right now, as you see Charles's windshield wipers going across the windshield at a pretty good clip as well. Driving with your lights on, always a good idea. Not so much so you can see, so you can be seen in times of bad weather. And that's certainly what we have at the very least. Bad weather at its best, severe weather at its worst. And that is what we're dealing with right now. Seeing some heavy rain as the flash flood threat will continue to increase as the rain continues to fall down. And we're seeing larger areas of severe thunderstorm warnings right now, and you see them grouped together like this. This is often a hint that we might be dealing with a damaging wind situation. I say that because you get them linked up like this, often because these storms are starting to link up and they're starting to, what we say is bow out. They're starting to create a bow appearance, like a bow and arrow or a backward C here, and this often is associated with some damaging winds. So we are seeing severe thunderstorm warnings here in this part of Alabama, and so where we're looking at here, also in Meridian, Mississippi, but where Charles was, this nasty heavy rain is heading his way. And this severe thunderstorm warning, particular one, is for Choctaw and Clark counties. And then a little bit farther to the east here and east of Montgomery, a couple of flash flood warnings in effect going into Georgia. And south here in south central Georgia and Valdosta, a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings as well. A couple of these storms here starting to have a little appearance like there's a little bit of a hook on the south side of that. You also see it looks like maybe an outflow boundary as well. So we'll keep an eye on these two storms as we also have the radar or the satellite on there showing these storms are really bubbling up, and that threat for tornadoes existing even after dark and during the overnight hours as well, Liana.
Yeah, we also have the dangerous threat for flash flooding. Good news is so many people are staying indoors, so we don't have as many people on the roads, but unfortunately it might be impacting you inside your house. Take a look at this. Alexander City, Alabama, the water covering the road, or not the roads, the floors inside your home. This is way worse than on the roads. And when we go outside, you can see the wind and the rain definitely left this car covered, completely plastered with a ton of fresh new leaves that are popping up this spring, right? Well, unfortunately, we have more severe storms expected through tonight, but including the threat for tornadoes. But I'm going to focus on the flood threat. Take a look. We have that mass of moisture, all those storms training over the same areas. And by training, I mean they're traveling over the same locations time and time and time again. We have that threat for flash flooding through tomorrow morning. Everywhere in the yellow, that's a heightened chance, a likely chance for seeing that flash flood threat extending from central northern Louisiana all the way through a good chunk of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and clipping parts of South Carolina. Even extending out and out of it, we have that shot. So let's go back real quick, and Chris was kind of dissecting all of this, but we have multiple flash flood warnings that are already popping up across several states. And notice this line right here. This is dangerous. This is what I mean by training. Notice all of these are kind of connected. That means those thunderstorms have been working their way over and over again across these same zones. And it's been heavy rain, and it's coming over a very potent, juicy atmosphere that's associated with this as well. We already had quite a bit of rain over the past 6 hours, already seeing upwards towards 3 to 5 inches right back here out towards northern Louisiana. We even have this little strip right here of 2 to 3, almost 4 inches of rain for you in Montgomery. But the rain keeps on coming. We still have a long night to go. I'm also very concerned for the truck drivers on I-20. Yeah, I mean, the wind combined with the super saturated environment definitely leads to dangerous road conditions. So keep it slow. I know we want everybody to be safe on the roads. 3 to 5 inches is expected on top of what we've already seen. We've already seen upwards towards 1, 2, 3 inches of rain in some parts. And we're looking at another 3 to 5 inches on top of that. So we could even end up with almost half a foot of rain in a matter of 24, 36 hours. So this is from now into tomorrow. We even have an inch of rain expected closer towards the coast. Closer look at Jackson. This is from now into late tonight. We're expecting another inch of rain, especially across I-20, even a little bit farther south. Another spot where we're going to be soaked, Birmingham, a little bit farther south in Montgomery, Tuscaloosa. 1 to 2 inches, 3 inches on the higher hit sides. We do have some of these storms packing an even juicier punch, so we can expect some more rain to come out of them. So Atlanta, a little bit farther south of the city, we're looking at those yellow patches, Chris, and this is from now into tomorrow morning. But then again, this is again coming over a very saturated environment.
There is a lot to think about with today's severe weather threat, and breaking right now, a new tornado warning to tell you about right now on the Weather Channel just across the Mississippi border with Alabama. In Alabama is the latest tornado warning. We've been watching severe weather in this area just south and including Interstate 20 here, I-20 here. This is southeast of Meridian, Mississippi in Alabama for Choctaw County. Needham here, heads up, you are within this tornado warning right now. This storm that is capable of producing a tornado is moving to the east around 50 miles an hour, likely seeing the rotation in here. And timing it out now, you get an idea of when it will be arriving and if it does hold together, because some of this timing does take us outside of the actual warning itself, which is within here. But if it does hold together, getting to Sweetwater eventually at 6:14. But before that, it's on top of Jackson Spur. Take cover right now if you are in these areas.
Life doesn't update you about your credit card, so meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
You wouldn't accept an incomplete job from anyone else, so why accept it from your allergy pills? Flonase relieves your worst symptoms, which most pills don't. Get all-in-one allergy relief for 24 hours with Flonase.
Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack. Get them!
Grandpa, what's going on?
We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep. Stack Pringles flavors, make new ones!
Hey, Boston. Hey, Atlanta. Hola, Miami.
Local Now is here for you.
Hi, New York. Hey, LA. Chicago.
To get you through life's new normal.
Hey, America.
Trust me, you're going to love this. Come on.
2 tablespoons of sugar.
But kind of near average on.
This is the place to be.
Something for everyone. Local Now. Download for free in your favorite app store.
In a time when so much has changed, it matters even more. What doesn't change? Our hearts are open. Our teams are here, doing everything we can to help all families. Today, tomorrow, always.
Do you know why I love Coffee Mate? Well, it's triple churn and 2 times richer than milk for one perfect cup of coffee. Think I love Coffee Mate too much? No, impossible. Coffee Mate. Coffee's perfect mate.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good.
Service isn't just a department. It's a voice on the other end of the phone.
A note to say you're on our mind. A willingness to come to you.
The world and how we interact with each other is changing, but that will never change who we are at Lexus.
Now, more than ever, you and your needs come first.
Find out what service options are available in your area at lexus.com/peoplefirst.
New Yorkers, cover your nose and mouth to prevent the spread of coronavirus. If you need to go outside to run essential errands, always wear a face covering to protect others. Remember, you can be contagious before showing symptoms. Make a face covering at home. Use a cloth, bandana, or scarf. Wash daily and dry completely. And save medical-grade masks for our healthcare workers.
As the nation's doctor, I often get asked, what should I do if I think I might have coronavirus?
People who are sick should stay home. You don't go to an emergency room. You don't go to a clinic. You get on the phone and you ask for advice and instructions from your physician.
We don't want you to go into the ER or the doctor's office without talking to them first because you might spread coronavirus to someone else. Please visit coronavirus.gov for more information.
To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. Wake up watching AMHQ. Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 59 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy, low 50. Winds west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, overcast, high 55. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday night, partly cloudy skies, low 44. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is meteorologist Mike Seidel back in Pearl, Mississippi. We got the mask off. We feel pretty safe out here. It's wide open. Plus the fact when the mask gets wet, it's not a good thing. Trust me. More seriously, let's talk about the tornado threat. We're still under a tornado watch in this part of Mississippi, Torcon of 7, and we got hit hard between 3:30 and 4 here in Pearl and Jackson with heavy rainfall. The rainfall rate based on the 3-minute measurement at the Jackson airport was about 5.5 inches an hour. We didn't get that much rain. We had about an inch of rain, but the thunder and lightning, it was everywhere. Listen to this crackle of thunder we recorded about an hour and a half ago. And listen and look at that rainfall, sheets of rain. The wind was not an issue here. They were warned, these storms were warned for wind gusts potentially 60 miles an hour and some hail. But where we're standing, we gusted, I estimated, about 40. The airport not far away gusted to 30. Power outages statewide in Mississippi, last check, just under 10,000 customers. So we do have some power outages. But as I mentioned a little while ago, only one reported tornado That was over in Clark County, and based on the report to the SPC, the Storm Prediction Center, it was only on the ground for about 30 seconds. Compare that to Easter Sunday when it was just a horrible day, a dozen killed and 15 tornadoes. Two of those south of here were monsters and long tracks over 60 miles. That Bassfield tornado was on the ground for 67 miles. So, Chris, so far so good. Still the tornado watch and still watching a line of severe thunderstorms in Louisiana heading right towards Jackson in the next 1 to 2 hours. Still the threat for straight line wind damage and hail, and there could be a spin up too.
Yeah, Mike, I'm also looking at the radar as well. And the other side of the state from where you are, going from Mississippi into Alabama, that is where there is a spin up right now. A tornado warning currently in effect right here. A lot of rain through these areas here. I would expect to see a lot more of this, a lot more flash flood warnings in the hours to come, with this rain continuing over some of the same areas for a long period. Tornado warning still for Choctaw here in Alabama. This in the far western part of the state, the county right next to Mississippi here, Choctaw County, just south of Butler and north of Gilberttown, including Needham. And looking a little bit closer here, it's kind of hard to say exactly where the rotation is within this, but roughly right through the middle of here to get an idea of where this is going next. If this remains as a tornado, this is going to be a big heads up. It could be going either in this direction, straight down the middle, or off to the side. So Slater, Sweetwater, Clay Hill, Campbell, all heads up here as this storm is over mainly rural areas, but it is going towards some towns. Choctaw and Clark County also involved with a severe thunderstorm warning. So whether or not you have a tornado, you're going to see scenes like this in Alabama, very heavy rain. Also, like we saw earlier with Mike, a lot of lightning and some very strong winds as well. The potential for damaging winds exists. Also seeing some strong storms here in south central Georgia, just now to the east of Valdosta. See a little bit of an outflow boundary here. So this is that cold air rushing out of the storms with the rain, or with some of the just that cold air that drops down, hits the ground, and actually can pick up dust and insects and stuff, which can get picked up or detected by radar. But we're also seeing a little bit of an appendage on some of these for a while, but some big storms bubbling up here. Now that the sun angle is getting a little bit lower, you can see the texture, essentially the shadows the clouds are putting on itself through time, and you get the nature. It looks like that almost looks like volcanoes blowing up. It's that vertical motion going up into the atmosphere, these strong storms that are continuing to develop. But again, Liana, heavy rain will remain a concern, and the threat for flash flooding existing even into tomorrow morning.
And then all of these severe threats push into the coast tomorrow morning. Now storms will be reaching coastal Carolina for places like Charleston, South Carolina, and Wilmington, North Carolina. We've already had some rain pick up throughout this afternoon, but the severe stuff, that is on its way. That's going to be developing early tomorrow morning. So take a look. We do have that severe shot tomorrow morning. The latest update now includes a good chunk of Florida. You are in that possible zone for seeing those severe storms, damaging winds, hail, and we do have torcons in place. We have all the right ingredients in place across this zone. We have these fronts that are going to help provide that lift that gets those thunderstorms going and become a little bit more potent. And then we also have this strong low-level jet that's going to reach down and possibly mix down to the surface and bring in that damaging wind threat, 60+ mile-per-hour winds. Latest torcon now. We still have a 3 in place. It's not 0, not as high as we have it a little bit farther west of here for today, but it's still a torcon of 3 in place for parts of Charleston and even up towards Morehead City. But we now have a torcon of 2 for parts of northern and central Florida. And then we do have all of this pushing through as we continue through this afternoon, or early tomorrow morning, I should say. This is about 4, 5, 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And take a look at Uniontown, Alabama.
Hi, I'm Lolly, a Domino's